more in the postseason or those high-impact situations without fans, no doubt. One way or another, some people feed off it, and some are distracted by it or can't handle it because of the nerves. And we brought up yesterday the 3 seconds to go free throw. I mean, if you're on the road, that's a different animal than when you're at home trying to hit that free throw.
See, I don't think the bubble's necessarily an excuse, but I think the fact that they haven't been playing together for a long time, that's an excuse. Because, I mean, I haven't said, like, we can't look at these teams like we looked at them during the regular season. These are different teams now. And keep in mind, yes, Portland's playing very well. Damian Lillard didn't want to come and play in the bubble. Damian Lillard was ready to turn away the season and say, you know what, I'm going to go on vacation. Good luck to you. So with that being said, I think the fact that these guys haven't played together and there's kind of a lack of chemistry, I do feel like that's a validated excuse.
And I would say with the Trailblazers, the break gave them long enough to get Nurkic on the team. He hadn't played with the team all season. And if he had,
they got healthy.
Maybe they're a 3 seed, maybe they're a 4 seed. So that's a big part of it, too, at least for that matchup.
They're better than an 8 seed.
Oh,
especially the way Lillard's playing right now. I mean, so no doubt. That's a tough draw for the Lakers in that sense. Plus, they've got momentum. They've built themselves some momentum. They're like the team that this is always the case, right? In the NFL, it's the first round bye. Do you want the bye? Do you rest up? Do you get healthy?
Yeah.
Or do you want to play the guy, the team that had to win the last 2 games of the regular season, won the wild card round, and is coming in on fire and playing their best football of the year?
Well, and we've seen how those first round buys have gone recently. Well, I mean,
it doesn't mean it just depends how you handle it. It depends how it shakes out. Now, these are longer series. When you have series, the better team usually wins.
Sure.
I mean, and so we'll see what happens with the Lakers. We'll see what happens with the Bucks. The problem for the Bucks is a little bit different in my estimation. They were not playing great going into the pandemic.
True.
Remember, they had lost like 4 or 5. Now, they've never got it together, and people have always, well, not always, I mean, it hasn't been long enough, but the one thing about the Greek Freak, how good he is. That if they put everybody on him and put all the attention to him, they force others to try to beat them. And is that a proven commodity yet? The answer is no.
Well, listen, he's okay. And Kuz texted us this last night about how he's only won 2 playoff games in his entire 5-year career, his illustrious 5-year career. People forget what the Greek Freak was like his first couple years in the NBA. Yeah. He wasn't good. He was completely raw. Like, when he got drafted, people in Milwaukee weren't celebrating, jumping on top of that, saying, we got Giannis Antetokounmpo, let's go. He's going to save our city. Nobody cared because he was a raw prospect who was like 170 pounds, soaking wet. Nobody believed in him. It wasn't until probably 2.5, 3 years ago we actually showed that, you know what, this guy's special, because his rookie year was kind of whatever. His second year, meh. And then as he started to progress a little bit, then they put the pieces around him. I agree with you, where right now it seems like it's Giannis Antetokounmpo versus the world, when that shouldn't be the case. When you're paying Chris Middleton a max deal, you got to step up, right? When you let Brogdon go because you have Eric Bledsoe got to step up. So I agree with you that it is Giannis's team, but people forget where he's come from. I mean, he's only fresh for the past 2 or 3 years, where he's actually a viable NBA All-Star.
Well, and that's what I was kind of alluding to with that was, with Giannis, the narratives, he's one of the best players, he's a great player, blah, blah, blah. And this happens with LeBron, too. The second you start losing, they go, oh, man, this is going to destroy his legacy if he goes out in the first round. Well, with Giannis, that's what I was wondering is going to come up. And then I wonder if that, players read things. I just wonder if that actually will affect him at all, if he's going into games like, man, I got to get this, everyone's against me. And then he starts playing that way. If teams are honing in on him and he starts trying to be the one that does it, that could be bad.
Here's the favorite part of that tweet that Kuz shared with me. The guy goes, Giannis was drafted 7 years ago, and his 2 playoff series wins includes the Pistons without Blake and the 2019 Celtics without Kyrie Irving. Oh, I'm sorry, was Blake Griffin the difference between the Pistons beating the Milwaukee Bucks or not? Probably not. But the fact we got to put Blake Griffin in the mix and say, well, the Pistons didn't have Blake Griffin. Giannis Antetokounmpo got lucky. No. He would have beat the Pistons with Blake Griffin.
It would have been harder, though, I guess was the point.
He would have beat the Pistons with Blake Griffin.
I don't really think you need to add in the hedges on he's got 2 series in 7 years. That's the statement. It's not who's playing or not. I mean, nobody does that when you win series and say, well, you won a series, but it wasn't. They didn't have so-and-so.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Giannis had what do you have, 31 and like 14 or something, 31 and change, which is like a typical night for him. So it's not like he played poorly. And LeBron, all he did was 20 plus, 15 plus, 15 plus.
Triple-double. I mean, no big deal.
Other people have to step up and play.
Kick out Kuzma, let's go.
Yeah. I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, that's how you do it. And that's why people like the Clippers, because the Clippers have a nice supporting cast. So how about that? Basketball again, NBA. Here's the thing. You see what's happening here? You know why we're talking a little hoops? This is because it's happening. Like, we have sports playoffs happening in almost like a March Madness kind of style, which we discussed a little bit yesterday. I think it's fantastic. Now, I'm not locked in. I mean, I don't sit here and watch TV at 1:30 in the afternoon. That's not really what I do, unless it's like the Ryder Cup or the Masters or something, then I'll flip it on.
Do what you got to do.
I've got to almost train myself that it's on, but it's cool that it's on. And you got the 4 games a day. I mean, I think this atmosphere is awesome. Well, I should say the lineup is awesome. The atmosphere is not awesome, but the lineup is tremendous that we've got sports talking about. Listen, baseball has been happening. That's good. Baseball games every night for the most part. There have been some teams that have had to cancel, but the games don't feel like they mean anything right yet. And so while it's fun to watch, even as a baseball fan, they're not ramped up. I mean, I think once we get to like 40 games and there's maybe 20 games left, because it's such a short season, then it will feel like, oh, the race is on. So this is good with the NBA. Still not feeling the NHL, which is interesting that you said. I just feel like the NHL is harder to find. You know, like it's like you better know where to look for it.
Well, yeah,
almost.
I mean,
the NBA, you can run right into it.
You better have the NBC sports package going with NHL. Yeah,
but the NHL, you said yesterday the ratings were up 57%.
47%.
47%.
Correct.
That's great.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's tremendous.
Yeah.
So good stuff out of there. Jaguars had the day off today, so there's nothing coming out of the practice. Well, listen. No news is good news right now for the Jags.
We'll take that all
Nobody
day.
retired in the last 24 hours. We don't think anybody got hurt, but we'll hear what Doug Marrone has to say tomorrow.
Yeah.
And, heck, the way this thing's gone, I'm just glad nobody's getting hurt on their off day.
That's what I'm saying, man.
I mean, it's been that kind of start in terms of attrition. But then there's this weird thing going on. Like, see, if I had not looked at the rest of social media and C.J. Henderson tweeted, I wouldn't really blink an eye. Now, he did say the one about the media at 12:45 that caught my attention.
Oh, that I can't wait for, Brent. I want you there tomorrow. I can't wait to see this go down.
But what happens on social media is Twitter started to kind of make it a thing.
Yeah.
They're basically like, did something go down with it? Like, I wake up this morning, and he's tweeting still, or there are more tweets, and like something wrong with C.J. Henderson. What's going on with C.J. Henderson? What's he mad about? You talk about cryptic Jan tweets.
Yeah.
This was different level from a quiet guy.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about it. What does it mean? We'll break it down a little, break down some tweets. But were you a little surprised from, or is this alarming at all? What's your initial thought on the C.J. Henderson
First of
tweets?
all, I mean, and keep in mind, I didn't see these last night. I saw these this morning. And, you know, Twitter was ablaze with retweeting C.J. Henderson asking, is this guy okay right now? Because apparently he spent the entire morning and last night, so 2 hours of sleep, just tweeting about random stuff. And what it appeared to from me as I read through them, and we can break these all down. It's going to be a long show if we do that, though. But basically is, you know, he was kind of in his thoughts a little bit, and instead of just, you know, taking a deep breath, he put them on Twitter. And I don't know if you want to break these down. You want me to break these down?
We'll do it in a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
but, here
we go again. I mean, what is going on? What's going to happen tomorrow at 12:45? I'm locked in.
Yeah. Listen, my first initial reaction, though, as I went on his Twitter profile and saw these tweets, because this is my job now. I never thought I'd be doing this, but here we are. And what I noticed is that people were talking about him, obviously, on Twitter. But he would type his name in and, like, quote those tweets, right? Like, these tweets weren't at him. Some of these weren't.
So he had to go find him.
It was people just, you know, typing about him on Twitter, not adding him, as they say in Twitter lingo. And then he goes out of his way to try to call those people out, let's just say. So, listen, he's a first-round pick, okay? So far be it from me to tell him how he should act as a football player, what he should and should not do. But I'm just going to say, man, if you're worried about what the general public or what somebody in their mom's basement has to say about you, you shouldn't be, all right? Because in the game of life, guess what right now, man? You won. Okay, and like he was stating, like, you know, he was tired of eating ramen noodles. That's fantastic. So you came from a very rough spot, and now look where you're at. You're a first-round pick set to make millions and millions of dollars in the city of Jacksonville. In the game of life, you won right now, man. So who cares what these random people who probably aren't as successful as you have to say? Just do your own thing, man. Like this is the whole point of trolling. Like usually when you troll somebody, that's ahead of you, right? Like you troll a celebrity, or you troll, I sometimes get political, obviously, but like you troll someone that's in more power or has a better status than you do. You don't come down and troll somebody who's below you. Like, that makes no sense. And that's, like, way too much energy being used when you got to focus on your rookie year, man. Now, once again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying from my perspective, why worry about those people?
Yeah, it kind of has a little bit of Jan feel in that respect. Like, he would respond to some people like, why are you responding to this person? Mm-hmm. I mean,
and listen, and I'll be the first guy to respond to somebody and tell them how I feel.
I don't mind it either, but I'm not getting,
but then you go on with your life.
Yeah.
Don't make it a whole big thing.
Well, and it's tenfold for these guys compared to us, in terms of followers and how many people that might say something. So pretty interesting what it all means. We'll try to interpret. Cryptic tweet season is back.
Yeah. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Hey, you know what else I want to ask today? Just a quick thought. We've been talking so much about the Jags defensive line. Could there be a diamond in the rough? The bottom line is it is what it is. Mm-hmm. And the Jags have to deal with it. But they also have to find some players, a rotation. Could there are some guys that, people have never even seen, heard of, whatever. Could you find a diamond in the rough? Who might that be as you look at the Jags depth chart? If we put odds on this thing, who would maybe rise to the top? We'll talk a little bit about that. College football is happening in the ACC, SEC, Big 12. The Big 10 conversations continue, even though it's not happening. Notre Dame has had a bunch of positive tests on their campus. They are going online classes for the next couple of weeks. We saw what happened with UNC. Pac-12's not playing ball. We get into a little discussion today about if there are no students on campus, or at least taking classes on campus, should you be playing sports? How do we feel about that part of it? We'll get into that a little bit later on as well. So we got some things to do here on a Wednesday. Hope you're doing well. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. Hope you're enjoying the new lineup, by the way. Been listening to the Mike Greenberg show and Max Kellerman show, and get your day started in the morning with Keyshawn and Jay and Zubin. And then, of course, the old standard, Levitard and Stugatz. And we're right in the middle of it all. And coming up after us, live, local, loud, plus some NBA hoops, the play-by-play right here on ESPN 690. We'll be back, talk a little C.J. Henderson on the field and off the field, because we haven't spent a lot of time on C.J. Henderson. So let's talk a little C.J. Henderson coming up next on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Keep that umbrella handy and keep an eye to the sky with a mix of clouds and sun today, with showers and heavy storms developing, highs near 90 degrees. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where for a limited time, you can get 5 years, 0 interest financing. Security experts recommend that if you have a do-it-yourself alarm, don't use their alarm signs or stickers. Why? Because it tells crooks exactly which system you have, and some signals can be jammed with a common garage door opener. Yes, the equipment is built that cheap. It's not been tested by UL Laboratories, and the DIY company selling it has no license. They use a third party. It just doesn't measure up. That's why thousands of business owners and families trust SafeTouch Security. All SafeTouch systems are custom designed for each installation and installed by state-certified technicians and are covered by a lifetime warranty. The SafeTouch two-way communicator provides the fastest possible response time with an 8-second average. All monitoring is done from the SafeTouch 24-hour monitoring center, giving you peace of mind for you and your family. SafeTouch Security has been protecting you and your family like no one else for 35 years. Go to safetouch.com today for a free home consultation. State license number EF0000233. You've been waiting for a new ride, right? Just waiting for the right sale. Well, the time has come because every quality pre-owned car, truck, SUV, and van has been marked way down for you to drive it home today when you buy from Arlington Toyota. You got to check out Arlington with over 750 new and quality pre-owned on the lot every day, just waiting for you to drive home. Domestics, luxury vehicles, imports, and Toyota certified pre-owned. It's all priced low and ready to go at Arlington Toyota. If you're worried about your credit, well, don't be, because with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And when it comes to total peace of mind, Arlington's got you covered with their 30-day exchange policy. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. So what are you waiting for? All pre-owned is on sale now at Arlington Toyota, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
This is Tom Skerritt for the Borgen Project. Each year, nearly 2 million children die from preventable diseases. Each day, 30,000 people die from hunger. 500 each hour are children. The Borgen Project is turning this around. We need your help. To learn more, go to borgenproject.org. That's BORGEN project.org.
Been dreaming of subway tile and butcher block counters? Outdoor kitchens and pavers?
Oh, honey.
The weather's great and it's time to knock out those nagging home projects with a Honeydew HELOC from 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Borrow up to 90% loan to value and pay no closing costs. Best of all, we'll give you a free wheelbarrow. That's right, a free wheelbarrow. Apply today at 1to1fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Just please, no more shiplap.
At Diamonds Direct, nobody tells our story better than our own associates.
I hear from customers that come in how shocked they are. They're able to, only with Diamonds Direct, afford a diamond that they never in their wildest dreams thought they'd be able to get.
People are just thrilled with what we offer.
We have exponentially more to choose from. The resources that we have all the way from our wholesale routes, really untouchable.
When you come here to Diamonds Direct, you know it's something special. You know it's something that is one of a kind, and you got that at such a phenomenal value.
To be a jeweler and have this kind of firepower, we have all these mountings, all this selection, all these diamonds, and incredible prices is just unmatched.
And I think our customers appreciate that we are so open and honest about every part of this process.
What they're surprised by is the extent that we go to provide an unparalleled, luxurious shopping experience.
This company has a 60-year heritage in diamond cutting, diamond mining, diamond wholesaling. So there's no possible way to get any closer to the source than with Diamonds Direct.
We won't be undersold.
Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Store hours and directions at diamondsdirect.com.
Let's take a minute and talk about your health, your good health. We can't take it for granted, and CGC Water would like to help. It's important to have clean, purified water in your home for your good health. CGC offers no contact sales and service appointments, and they've taken all the necessary precautions while in your home. Kinetico systems from CGC Water remove up to 99% of the contaminants. Now that's taking care of your health. This month, get 50% off a K5 reverse osmosis system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier Softener. No more filling the landfills with plastic from expensive bottled water. Instead, fill up on cleaner, safer water from CGC Water. We love it at our house. You can have it at your house. Get the peace of mind knowing your family is drinking great tasting, purified, safe water. Kinetico features Premier Softeners, non-electric, twin tanks that are super efficient and use less salt. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer, servicing North Florida and Southeast Georgia.
You've worked hard all your life. Retirement worries shouldn't get in the way, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. But many Americans are finding that retiring on a fixed income is hard. BenefitsCheckup.org is a free website from the National Council on Aging. With just a few clicks, you can see if you qualify for thousands of dollars to pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. BenefitsCheckup.org. You've earned this. This message is supported by the Administration for Community Living.
Come to the grand opening of Q Delicia, the best Mexican-American sports bar in town. Enjoy ice-cold beer, $10 sangria pitchers, along with the best quesadillas and fajitas in town while watching the game. If you can't go, at least you can watch. But don't be surprised if you hear, "Goal!" You can watch football, NFL, NBA, MLB, boxing, UFC, and more on multiple HD TVs. Visit Q Delicia for the grand opening on 3980 Southside Boulevard today. Q Delicia, the Mexican-American sports bar you never knew you needed. Call 904-253-3477. There's a new, modern, patient-centered orthopedic practice in Jacksonville.
We believe that the patient pays money for a doctor and should be seen by a doctor.
Ortho Edge.
They're getting the most technologically available medicine there is.
Ortho Edge.
You're going to get a much better experience with your physician. We all see our patients.
Get the answers right away and more focused care on patients.
Find out more about us at orthoedge.com.
Ortho Edge. We're in the DePaul building attached to St. Vincent's Medical Center, Riverside.
Hi, I'm Dr. Anita Chandra with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Recent cases of measles in the United States have caused serious illness and have many parents concerned. This virus is incredibly contagious. If your child is not vaccinated, they're likely to get the measles if they're exposed. The good news is the measles vaccine is very safe and effective. Remember, the best way to protect your children, your family, and your community is to be immunized. If you have questions, talk with your pediatrician or visit healthychildren.org.
Jackson This Together is not just a hashtag. We believe it, and we are living it, all of us. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. These may be uncertain times, but we can still lift each other up, share a laugh, a smile, and even a shout out. If you would like to recognize someone, maybe a healthcare worker, a truck driver, someone who works for a local restaurant, or maybe it's someone's birthday, call *star 690. Leave a message and we will share it on ESPN 690. That's *star 690. Give it a call and help make somebody's day.
Brent Martineau.
How many push-ups did you do in 3 minutes? Did you try the challenge?
Austin Lane.
I don't need lactic acid build up when I'm in fight camp. Brent, you kidding me? Take my word for it. I've been more than you.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
I think that'll help me out a lot, the competition I've been against, day one in the SEC. I think it's going to help me, tremendously with my confidence and stuff like that. So, I'm ready to go out there and help the team any way I can.
That was C.J. Henderson. We're going to talk a little C.J. Henderson in a moment. Jaguars' first round draft pick, top 10 draft pick. Could the Jaguars be getting more draft picks sooner than later? There's a report from Michael Lombardi, who hates the Jags, by the way.
Oh, does he?
Oh, hates them. Just kills the Jags all the time. And he's saying that the Jags are close to trading Yannick Ngakoue.
You want to quote the exact tweet?
You have it in front of you?
Yeah.
Because I'm tweeting everybody that we're talking about it right now.
All right. Well, do you want me to wait? Hang on.
No.
In
go ahead.
5, 4.
I'm ready.
3,
I read it already.
I know, but I'm waiting until you put the tweet out so that people can come on and everything.
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
And we're good.
Everybody's on. The world is on.
And we're on. Okay, great. So Michael Lombardi is verified. Brent, we checked the blue check mark, and we're good to go.
Yeah,
we're verified.
I didn't do that. Glad you did.
And according to NFL sources, that Jacksonville is extremely close to trading Yannick Ngakoue today or tomorrow. They have a firm offer in place. Parentheses, hearing a 2. Looks like this holdout will be over soon, and Jacksonville will get more picks for their tanking. Ha! Nicely done, Lombardi.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he hates the Jags.
I guess so.
But okay, so let's just dissect this. Could the Jaguars be trading Jan? Well, absolutely, right? That's been in potential for a long time.
Yeah.
A 2?
Yeah.
Like, as in a second-round pick? Is that how you interpreted that?
Absolutely.
Like, not 2 picks, a 2.
A 2. Yeah. It says hearing like a 2.
33 through.
Correct. Second-round pick.
4.
Hearing a 2. Second-round pick. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I love how we're on the same page right now because we're staring at each other right now, and we're kind of thinking the same
player,
thing.
Right? Like, and a defensive end or defensive tackle and something like that.
Listen, and this is where I'm coming. I think we're on the same page here, Brent. Yannick Ngakoue, we've said on this show many times that we feel it should be a first-round pick, right? I mean, the guy's 25 years old. His best football is still ahead of him, still coming into his prime. You know what he gives you on the field. Pretty reliable in terms of injury history. There's a lot to like about Yannick Ngakoue. The fact that you might be giving up only a second-round pick for him and trading for that, I don't like that for a couple reasons. Number one, your defensive line is decimated right now. More specifically, your defensive tackles and maybe your nose, right? So your interior defensive line needs to be addressed immediately. Not right now. I'm talking yesterday. I'm talking 2 days ago. So I would have liked to see maybe a Yannick Ngakoue trade with a defensive lineman, obviously. Now, maybe that's still going to come down the pipe. We'll see. But what we're hearing right now and what Lombardi said is it's only a second-round pick. Okay, fine. My other problem is, listen, if you don't plan on trading Yannick Ngakoue for an interior defensive lineman right now because you need it so bad, but you think, you know what, we're fine. We like who we got. We got Taven Bryan. We just got Timmy Jernigan. So if the plan is to trade Yannick Ngakoue for more draft capital next year, the following year, whatever, why not wait until the market is hotter? Why not wait until COVID-19, maybe take some players out? Why not wait till injuries obviously happen and a team maybe on the brink of playoffs is missing that edge rusher? Then you have some capital be like, well, you guys want a pass rusher? We got one right here, first-round pick. Like, to me, it's so early in the game right now to trade for draft value. To me, it's in the game right now. We have to be trading for interior defensive linemen or pieces that are going to help your team out, not pieces for next year. So hearing this news right now, I'm a little confused at the fact they want to give away a second-round pick, and that's it for Yannick Ngakoue.
Well, yeah, again, who knows what the structure of the deal could be.
And there could be more. I mean, it's just one speculation.
Right? Working sources that this is not as imminent maybe as the report is indicating, but who knows? That's my early indication, is that it's not as imminent as this might indicate, but also not getting a lot of denials or not truths or that kind of thing either. So there could be some smoke here, is the early indication that I'm getting. But to go back to we talked about this a little bit yesterday. We had the conversation of, would you trade Jan for some help along that defensive front? You think, yeah, possibly.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of folks would like to see that. I would not. I don't believe that. Now, there have been recent conversations between the Jaguars, Dave Caldwell especially, and Yannick Ngakoue. And maybe they have reset kind of where they are in terms of what they're thinking. Whether it's the Jags going forward, the Jags from a dollar perspective, Jan from a wanting to play here this year beyond, where he would like to go, all those things. Maybe they have, if the pros and cons were dealt out months and months ago, even as last year or 3 months ago, and the Jags didn't like the situation the way it was, Jan didn't like the situation. They stuck their head in the sand and said, we ain't leaving our spots. Well, now that he split ways with his agent, now that there's been a little communication, well, maybe they reset whatever they were discussing, their priorities, their feelings, all that stuff. So where that is, we have no idea. But maybe that led to, you know what? Even after splitting with the agent, Jan still is pretty strong at he wants out of here. Mm-hmm. And now that we are communicating in a civil way, and now that we feel like this is a good conversation, let's do the business the way we've kind of done business in the past, and that is, if it's not going to work out here, let's do what's good for the franchise, but also good for the player, a la A.J. Boye, a la Calais Campbell, and then good for the franchise, certainly, when it comes to Jalen Ramsey, because they got so much in return. So that's kind of what we talked about a little bit yesterday. I'm not a big fan of the trade him away because I think he would have been forced to sign the franchise tag. Maybe their feeling is he's just going to be so unhappy it's a useless and futile effort, even if he signs it. Yeah, he's going to sign it, but he's going to be not that happy while we're trying to win games and get through this kind of reload, rebuild standpoint. Mm-hmm. And they've got a better feel of all that than we do. But I just don't know why this would be good for the franchise. A second-round pick does nothing for me. Mm-hmm. Like, again, if it's a second-round pick and a player, well, then tell me who the player is, and then I'll readjust my position. Well, but if Lombardi's right and it's one pick and it's just a second-round pick, I don't understand how that's good for the franchise. Listen, I'm a guy who said I think Jalen Ramsey was a great player. Mm-hmm. I think Jalen Ramsey around here still would be very good for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And we'll have a little conversation about Jalen Ramsey later, another edition of Hard Knocks. Yeah. But the bottom line is they got a ton in return for Jalen Ramsey. That made a lot of sense for the franchise. Mm-hmm. As long as it wasn't a franchise QB you were trading away, you would almost trade anybody away for that package that they got in return. I don't know where this is good for the franchise, other than the fact that you don't have to commit maybe $18 million this year or $90 million for the next 5 years and sign them to a long-term thing. Maybe there is a player involved, so therefore you get some help on the D-line. That would be the only thing I could say. The second-round pick does absolutely nothing for me. Like, I don't think that's helping a franchise.
It's not going to help you win games this season. All right, I think Yannick Ngakoue playing 3 or 4 games this year gives you a better shot of winning games than obviously a second-round pick next year. Let me ask you this, though, Brent. You seem pretty adamant about this. Why do you feel like the Jaguars shouldn't trade Yannick Ngakoue right now for a defensive tackle or interior defensive lineman?
Well, I think I ran through some of the free agents to be next year on the defensive line, and nothing jumped out at me like, oh, yeah, there are some names. And to be honest with you, I'm not here to break down people's film and tell you this guy's here or there.
Yeah,
like I would have known Rodney Gunther before this year at all. Mm-hmm. So maybe there is somebody out there that you would be like, okay, I could see. But I think Yannick Ngakoue is a very good player. Mm-hmm. I think Yannick Ngakoue has the chance, if you think there's any chance of salvaging this year or even beyond, to give you something that nobody in the league has. That is Chason, that is Allen, that is Ngakoue. Nobody has a 3-headed monster like that. People have 2-headed monsters, but nobody has 3-headed monster like that.
But keep in mind, only 2 of those guys could probably be at the field at the same time.
That's fair. And you've got to weigh those things. Mm-hmm. You've got to weigh those things. So, and again, the big part of this that we can't be answered, I'm talking in an outside view of this, that I would just keep that door open that you could salvage something. And maybe they have finally realized it's unsalvageable. But I feel like they could have got this deal and got away with the shenanigans for the last year.
Yeah.
Do they not feel, to your point, like the value would go up anymore? If like around cut time when people are a little more desperate, around trade deadline time when people are a little more desperate to win, I can't imagine I would have hung on to him. Or I will hung. Listen, nothing's happened yet. But if this report from Mike Lombardi, who's a connected guy in the league, is true, and it would just be a second, you're going to have to convince me there's more than that. There's got to be more than a second.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to rip this thing that this happens.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
And this is Sunshine and Rainbows bread coming out right now.
I could not. I would continue to be stuck in the sand. This, I think if you were to trade him for a second, actually makes the Jags look bad.
Yeah. And then listen, like you said, I don't see what the rush is. If it's only going to be a second, once again, we don't know if there's going to be a player or not. I hope there's a player. It's just off
the report. We got to keep reminding people. It's off a report. And again, some early indications from a little digging in the last few minutes in a commercial break.
Yeah.
As this might not be as imminent as this tweet kind of indicates. But things happen fast in the NFL, man. So it could be happening as we speak, and something takes a turn.
Yeah, and listen, we share a different thought here, Brent, and this is why I'd probably make a horrible GM. This is why I'm never going to be in the NFL front office, because while you have to plan for the future, and I understand that, I would be so hell-bent on making sure that I'm ready for the present, to making sure that I'm ready to be successful now, not later, but right now. And when we talk about right now, I mean, it's clear as day, the fact that your defensive line right now, and I get it, you like Taven Bryan. I get it. Dwayne Smoot has made a lot of progress, and he's very intriguing, but he's never been that bona fide starter that you've been counted on, right? And I get it. Avery Jones has been a very good nose technique, but who's your depth? Who do you have right now? And then, yes, Timmy Jernigan has had some great years, had that back injury a little bit. Is he 100%? There's a lot of red flags right now. And if I'm the GM and if I'm the front office, yes, I'm trying to accumulate picks for the future and plan ahead and revitalize the Jacksonville Jaguars. I get that. But I'm also concerned about the right now. I'm concerned about my job this season. I'm concerned about winning more than 3 or 4 games right now to try to save my job. So if I'm trying to do that, I need to make sure that I put my team in the best ability to win this season, not next season, this season. And if you want to do that, that's where I say you trade Yannick Ngakoue for a dire need on your defensive line. So we share the same agreement where it's like, it better be more than a second-round pick, but we differ from the standpoint of, if you're going to trade Yannick Ngakoue, do something for right now to help your career out as opposed to planning for the future, because guess what? If you guys have a horrible year, who's to say you're going to be here next year?
Yeah, I don't think even a player straight up would make a lot of sense for me. Do keep in mind from your standpoint, and for everybody who would like to see a little more defensive line depth outside of the pass rusher spot, which now they have, and Josh Allen and Chason. But listen, you are never all set. Mm-hmm. You can't have enough of those guys. That's why I'm not giving a guy away. And so I get the fact that you need some help on that left side of the line, let's call it, the three technique and the big end spot. I get that. And by the way, this isn't just like a short-term injury for Rodney Gunter, who you invested 3 years into in a contract. I mean, he's done. I mean, he's not coming back next year. You can't assume that. I mean, I think he's done. It's pretty crystal clear that he's done playing football. He's on the retired list, for crying out loud. So I get there's a need there. So if there is, and if a player is involved in potential trade, well, my assumption would be it would be a pretty young player, 25, 26, 27-year-old kind of player that you can now either sign to a deal or have for the next few years as well, because that's what you need. You need a little help there. You fill a spot. So it wouldn't just be for this year, but it could be for the building blocks of the future as well. Here's the thing. This is what we're going to have to do now and dig into it a little bit more in the break maybe. But think about the teams that we're talking about, Jan. Seattle, Philly, Cleveland. Who else am I? I mean, we had kind of proposed like the Jets and Jamal Adams still, but that we didn't think they made a ton of sense for them necessarily. But we were kind of throwing that out there. The Cowboys don't come into play here, even though McCoy got hurt. I mean, they've taken a shot at a ton of pass rushers. In fact, it looks like it looks like last chance you over there in Dallas for some of those guys. Yeah. But if you just take, say, a Seattle, Cleveland, Philly that people were talking about, is there anybody on those lines that you would say we'd like that guy from a big end, three technique spot to help you out, if that's who you're going to package something up with?
Yeah.
And again, we have no idea. We're just taking a shot here and seeing who could potentially be a dance partner.
See, but here's the thing, though. I mean, if you're going to package that deal with that third-round pick, I mean, a second-round pick. Let's be honest, Brent. Like, if you trade a second-round pick and then a player for Yannick Ngakoue, odds are that player is not going to be a Pro Bowl-type caliber player, right? I mean, he's going to be kind of like a roster guy, I feel like. I mean, like, do you see it foreseeable, the fact that you can trade a legit defensive tackle and a second-round pick for Yannick Ngakoue in this environment right now?
Well, I don't think he'd be I agree with that. But he could be a Rodney Gunter kind of player.
Sure.
One where you envision that he's about to take another step. And Gunter didn't come with that kind of, cachet. True. But they were high on him.
Yeah.
And so
was I.
In 3 years, $18 million. So if you get that kind of player and a second-round pick, well, now you're talking a little something. True. Because you have to go to a team that would be saying, hey, we have a good player here, but we feel like we need an upgrade at pass rusher. That's more important to us right now. We have a hole there. And that's why the Phillies, the Seattles, the Clevelands have come into
and we got to be honest here. Whoever the team is, it's got to be a team that's ready to make a run, right? Like, you're not going to have, I feel like, a team at the bottom of the league that's going to
Absolutely.
So I'm trying to look.
And where's that second-round pick, right? That second-round pick could be the 61st pick in the draft. For Yannick Ngakoue? I'd rather him sit on the sidelines than get a 61st overall pick. I'd feel better about it.
Let me ask you this. The Baltimore Ravens.
Ravens are interesting.
You have some kind of rapport with them. I'm looking at their depth right now at defensive tackle.
Trade Calais back?
Well, no, I mean, that ain't happening. They understand what they got there.
What would fans do?
The Jaguars have traded Yannick Ngakoue for Calais Campbell.
What would Jags fans do if that news came out?
What would I do? I'd probably quit. I'd be like, dude, I'm done.
What you wouldn't quit, but Jags fans would be ecstatic. Calais is back.
Yeah, I guess.
Jaguars All Access starts tomorrow night. Get them here by 7. We'll talk more about it. We'll see what's up with it. Again, I'm hearing nothing imminent on this, but obviously the report is the report. Pretty connected guy in the NFL. And I also didn't get a denial on this kind of news. So we'll see what happens with Yannick Ngakoue. We'll keep you up to date. We'll have more discussions about it. We'll talk a little C.J. Henderson as well. Speaking of cryptic tweet guys, coming up next on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 SportsCenter Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. Different cities are going to have different rules when it comes to crowds for stadiums. For instance, for September, there will be no crowds at Foxborough. And when the Jags face the Titans in Tennessee, the stands will be empty. Despite all of this, NFL insider Adam Schefter says the season will start on time.
There's going to be an NFL season. We'll see how long it lasts. I think they're confident they could pull this entire thing off. The NFL's created its own virtual bubbles within its own cities. They're not official bubbles because players do go and come from home back to the training facility. But there is regimented testing every day. The players' temperature is taken every single time. They get the regular COVID tests. I think right now there are like 19 players total on the reserve COVID list. 19 out of an entire league.
In the NBA last night, the Magic over the Bucks. Heat topped the Pacers. Rockets toppled the Thunder. And the Blazers beat the Lakers. If you're working from home and still want to listen to ESPN, tell your smart speaker, play ESPN 690.
After a long day, having my dogs greet me at the door with their silly smiles and wagging tails makes me happy. I want to keep that joy with me for years to come. That's why I trust Forever Vets Animal Hospital to keep my pets healthy. Forever Vets was voted 2019's Best Vet in Jacksonville Magazine's Readers Poll, and it's easy to see why. The affordable wellness plans are tailored to meet all of your pets' changing needs as they grow. Open 7 days a week, Forever Vets friendly staff is available to treat you and your pet with care. They combine extended hours with online booking to allow you to give your pet quality care while accommodating your schedule. Go online to forevervets.com to find which of their 9 locations is nearest you. And don't forget their newest location in Bartram Market. Forever Vets Animal Hospital, keeping your pets happy and healthy forever.
You ready for some good news? No, make that great news. You know that new Toyota you've been wanting? It's as good as yours thanks to the huge savings going on now at Arlington Toyota. Every new Toyota Arlington's got is on sale. In fact, you can get 0% for 60 months on 10 new Toyota models. That's 0% for 60 months on 10 new Toyota models. Want to drive away in a new Toyota with no payments? Right now at Arlington, you can. Get no payments for 90 days on your new Toyota purchase. Every single day at Arlington, you're going to have over 750 new and quality pre-owned to choose from on the lot, ready for you to drive home today. And with every new vehicle purchase from Arlington, you get a nationwide lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles. Plus, you can buy with total peace of mind thanks to Arlington's 30-day exchange policy. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. But wait, there's more. It's time to get your new Toyota and save big at Arlington. Wait no more. Now's the time to get your new Toyota and save big at Arlington Toyota, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/August savings for full details.
Slip and falls can be embarrassing, leaving you in pain and feeling like you've lost control. I'm Eli Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. After a fall, document the scene by taking photographs and make sure to get medical attention for any injuries you may have. If you've been injured in a slip and fall accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Celebrate your love with end of summer savings now at Beard's Diamonds.
Right now at Beard's, take advantage of 5 years zero interest financing.
Yes, 5 years, zero interest financing with zero down.
How about a $6,000 Tacori or Veragio ring? You pay just $100 a month.
Or a pair of diamond studs for $1,500. You pay just $25 a month. But it's only for a limited time and only at Beard's Diamonds.
Located at the St. John's Town Center.
If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired and school just isn't for you, earn while you learn by enrolling in the Clara White Mission Workforce Training, designed for 16 to 24-year-olds and no experience necessary. National certifications include culinary arts, OSHA, HAZWOPER, forklifting, environmental training, and more. These programs are customized for low income and disadvantaged. Make your way to the Clara White Mission Training Center at 613 West Ashley Street. Call 904-354-4162 or visit clarawhitemission.org.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
The more people you speak to in each organization, the less doubt there is that the season is beginning on time and that there's going to be a season. There's going to be that opener between the Chiefs and the Texans on that Thursday night, September 10th. And a couple of months ago, 2-3 months ago, I think a lot of people might not have thought that game would be played, but that game is going to be played barring something unexpected and unforeseen at this point in time. And when you speak to people, there's an actual sense of optimism.
That's Adam Schefter, of course, from ESPN. I think there is optimism. In my mind, there's no doubt. I'd be stunned at this time if there isn't a game on September 10th.
Yeah.
And the Jags aren't playing September 13th. I'd be absolutely stunned. About as stunned as I would be if the Jags traded Yannick Ngakoue for just a second-round pick.
Listen, I'm never going to wish bad on anybody or any franchise, but I almost want it to happen just so I can see your reaction. Because, we would slowly watch Brent Martineau descend into madness, man. Mr. Positivity.
Would the Twitter section and reactions be better than when Hopkins got traded?
Oh, no. Not even close.
Nah, it's just not as high profile.
Yeah, not even close, yeah.
And to be honest with you, it still wouldn't be as bad as that.
I know, no. that was an all-timer right there.
Yeah, that was going to be an all-timer.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're just joining us, jumping in here on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690, thanks for hanging with us. 10 different platforms you can watch us on: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can listen in your car on ESPN690.com as well on the stream, or on your smart speaker, just play ESPN 690. Well, the story is, in the last 20 minutes or so, Mike Lombardi, who's connected in the NFL, he's worked in front offices before, and I tell you this all the time. If you read Michael Lombardi, what he says about, he hates the Jags, hates them. I'm convinced. I don't know Michael Lombardi, but I'm convinced he hates the Jags. Yeah. And he reported that the Jags are close to trading Yannick Ngakoue in the next day or so, like today or tomorrow. And he puts in parentheses a deal's in the works for a second-round pick, essentially. Just a second-round pick. So that's where we're at in the story. We just spent the last 20 minutes talking about it and what could happen. We spent the commercial break looking up, could they throw a player in there somewhere from a defensive line standpoint that would make some sense to help the Jags and Doug Marrone and Todd Wash and that defense out this year, and a second-round pick. Then something like that would make a little bit more sense to me. I'll tell you, if they go for just a second-round pick, if this were to happen, and I also will tell you that I've heard nothing is imminent, and I will say this, though, I wasn't categorically denied in my checking in on this.
Reconnaissance.
Well, yeah, so that also is a footnote, but nothing imminent. So they might not be as close as Lombardi's talking or some other teams are talking or whoever. If they were to do it for just a second-round pick, you know what I would think? You know the first thing I would think of? It's almost like it got so toxic between the Jags and his agent that they basically said, we're going to do this in spite of the agent. Agent tried to get this deal done with a second-round pick probably for the last year and couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Jan got it done by himself.
Well, no, but keep in mind, Jan has signed a new agent.
He's got the new agent.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
still. But he essentially got it done by himself because of the conversations that they had. And, So it's interesting. It also does speak to the signing of the new agent that something could this quickly potentially be in the works.
Yeah.
And one thing, I thought Austin said a really good thing at the outset of this conversation. As much as I would rail against the idea of just a second-round pick for Yannick Ngakoue, you actually add it to it because of the timing. The timing wouldn't make sense. The Jags are in no rush here. They don't need to be in a rush here. And there's a good chance that a team, if they're willing to do that, potentially could get even more desperate as we approach the season, as we potentially approach the trade deadline to do it. And by the way, I'll tell you this. If it was just a second-round pick, the second-round pick's going to be there forever.
Of course.
That's going to be a deal that gets done, no problem.
The draft value can only go up, I feel like, as the season progresses for Yannick Ngakoue.
Yeah, so that's a good point. So I will be stunned if the Jaguars trade Yannick Ngakoue and it is just for a second-round pick. I'm telling you, I'll be absolutely shocked. So we'll see what happens. But again, nothing imminent in that situation. We spent, Jan has been such a topic here on the show for such a long time. And part of it, we've had a little fun with his cryptic tweeting. By the way, Jan tweeted.
Yeah. Good point.
Is he staying
Has he
quiet?
liked anything?
Yes.
I'm on it.
So that's how deep we got into the Jan discussions. is his cryptic tweeting. He hasn't tweeted, by the way, since August 4th, which is now going on more than 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kill evil with love. I can sign up for that. Now we have C.J. Henderson tweeting.
Hang on, though. So he's liked a couple things, though.
He has liked a couple things?
One of the things was somebody from I don't know who this person is, but I admire people who stay solid to me no matter what. Solid. Opposite of solid, liquid. Liquid is what? Rain. It rains a lot in Seattle, Washington, Brent. Seattle Seahawks, possibly?
Well,
did I just break it down?
What did you say? There was what did the tweet actually said? Something about a 2 in it? And Brent said he hasn't tweeted in 2 weeks? This is some, like...
See?
Yeah.
Also,
you guys just shut up.
I can't stand when people waste my time. Waste. Garbage. The garbage-picking, field-goal kicking Philadelphia phenomenon. That Disney movie from the Eagles. Is he going to the Eagles now? Man, Brent, I'm breaking it down. This is what happens when you ask me to read people's tweets. This is where we're at now.
Well, how about C.J. Henderson's tweet?
So, yeah, you read them.
So, real and like a barrage of tweets. At the end of the day, when you step in front of me, I'm going to show you why I was mad about them nights I got full of ramen noodles for dinner. Okay, that's cool. I run off 2 hours of sleep now knowing that I'm genuinely happy from this. Like, man, I'm scared of the king mindset. I have now that I can make so many young black men stronger. Okay. Mindset like, why not start a car company with a last name like Jones to change the oppression we've been through? Like, hey, listen, it's okay to drive that Lamborghini because it loses value 2 seconds off the lot. Little life lesson there?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Talking about Lamborghinis, though. Don't buy a Lamborghini. You know how I feel about that.
Then he is going back and forth with some folks, right?
Yeah.
Man, you get on this. Somebody says, bro, ramen noodles and steakums. You ain't said nothing but a word. And he said, man, you can get on this island and act tough when you never had to use a plastic fork, but you talking like you live that life. Do you know that in football, I'm legally allowed to beat your aunt? Sorry, kids. That's what he said. So he goes on, he's saying this stuff, which is, it's just, again, like, to me, it's not catching my attention.
Yeah.
Like, all this stuff is like, okay, I don't know if he's quoting rap songs or just being philosophical. But then he says, I encourage everybody reading what I'm saying to listen to me pick the media's brain on Thursday at 12:45. And just by saying this, watch how different the energy is after practice when they're waiting on me.
Brent's so different right now. You know Brent's going to be so different tomorrow? How different are you going to be, Brent? You going to be different tomorrow?
But what is he talking about?
Yeah, it's a good question. Listen, I wish I had a great response for you. I mean, obviously right now it's a situation where we have a player speaking out and in his mind he's telling like it is, right? Like he's like, "Oh, I can't believe he's saying this stuff." And I think he thinks that, well, he's saying these crazy things and now the media's going to take it and run with it. Now ESPN 690 is going to break it down on their show. Like we are, and it's going to be like a crazy backlash for it. Like I don't think it's going to be a really crazy backlash for it, and I don't think, like, from your perspective, you're not going to change how you approach the interview or anything like that. But I can't wait till you talk to him. I can't wait to hear what he says tomorrow. I'm intrigued now. I'm in.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, I don't think we have a beef in the media with C.J. Henderson.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, we've even said it. Like I said it on the show the other day. I think the reaction to him being a top 10 pick was lukewarm. I think so. I mean, even I would have been was lukewarm on it.
Sure.
We wondered if that was a good pick. He's looked really good in practice so far. Nice player, good player. We'll see. But it's weird. He's super quiet. I mean, that's the book on it. That's what we know. Super quiet guy. And all of a sudden, some of these tweets, it's interesting. I can't wait for 12:45 tomorrow. I don't know what it's going to be like.
Well, and listen, I just hope that it's not a case where it's another Jalen Ramsey scenario, right? Like where now you go to war with the media. Now you're letting the media affect you and things like that. I mean, you're still a rookie, man.
Doesn't the media have to come to battle first with you for that to happen?
Hey, man, I'm just going by what I'm reading right now on Twitter.
But he is so not Jalen. I've said this before. He's more A.J. Boye, in terms of his demeanor.
Listen, who else would go on Twitter right now and call it the media and say, we'll see you tomorrow. Can't wait. See how you act. Who else would do that? Jalen Ramsey.
Who's getting mad at us? We got to go to break. We come back. We talk a little more football, including FSU at 4. What's up with the quarterback spot? Next on ESPN 690.
Men, are the effects of hypertension, diabetes, or prostate cancer preventing you from having a satisfying love life? In just one visit, the doctors at Prime Men's Medical Center can help you overcome ED or PE to regain your confidence and have you last longer in the bedroom. Name brand pills don't work for many men and can have serious side effects. The highly skilled physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center provide custom blended medications that are safe, effective, and work immediately, regardless of your medical history or age. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your consultation is free. So, if you have problems in the bedroom, call now for a private consultation. One call, one visit, one simple solution to regain your love life. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now at 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. That's 904-206-8105.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference, like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Come to the grand opening of Q Delicia, the best Mexican-American sports bar in town. Enjoy ice-cold beer, $10 sangria pitchers, along with the best quesadillas and fajitas in town while watching the game. If you can't go, at least you can watch. But don't be surprised if you hear, "Goal!" You can watch football, NFL, NBA, MLB, boxing, UFC, and more on multiple HD TVs. Visit Q Delicia for the grand opening on 3980 Southside Boulevard today. Q Delicia, the Mexican-American sports bar you never knew you needed. Call 904-253-3477.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Oil change coming up? We can help you out. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Pennzoil high mileage motor oil and an STP oil filter for just $27.99. And if you need it fast, we can help you get it fast. Whether it's at home with our next day delivery or in store and curbside with our free same day pickup. The choice is yours. Getting the job done just got easier. Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what covering your bases is in baseball, right? Making sure you have no holes in your defense. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. And you'll pay up to 50% less than big carriers and still use their same networks. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data and 2G. No contract, no mystery fees. Fully covering your bases for 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
What's up, Sauce, the land of action sports, Jax on ESPN 690. If you didn't catch today's episode, I'm not mad at you, not even disappointed, but check out what you missed. If I want to be taken out by a hurricane, I want to be taken out by the biggest, most intimidating hurricane, and that's Bertha. You're not going to say, whoa, here comes Bertha dating Tom Brady. You're going to say, well, there's Bertha at the Golden Corral line pushing people out of the way to get a second helping. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but that's probably been used in a sentence before. Check out our podcast on all platforms. Just search ESPN 690. Subscribe to our podcast. Thanks.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
He's the GOAT on and off the field. Like, it's crazy. You know, he's a superstar, the most accomplished player in our game in history. And, you know, he's just like everybody else. He just works extremely hard. He's always taking care of his body. He loves his family. He loves family time. And he's just cool. He's a real down-to-earth guy. And he's already up there as one of my favorite teammates. And we've only had a few practices together.
That is Mike Evans talking about Tom Brady. Very nice compliments from Mike Evans on Tom Brady, and why not? Should be. Does he get anything but compliments? 60-yard dimes? Talking about a guy by the name of Tom Brady.
Thomas, yep.
Thomas Brady, yes.
So I said Thomas, yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, Thomas Brady.
I thought you had a defensive tackle in mind that the Jags could trade Yannick Ngakoue for.
I'm looking.
We still can't find one. We said, what do you said, Cameron Hayward as a free agent next year? He's 32.
Cameron
that
Hayward.
makes no sense.
I'm looking. I mean, listen, you're not going to trade him in division, so take the Colts, take the Titans out of it. So,
yeah, probably.
What do you mean? No, don't even Brent. I'm telling you right. I'll be even more mad if they trade for somebody in division than you will be if they trade for just a second-round pick. I promise you that. Don't trade in division.
I think we have to make it clear, though, that Lombardi in his post, in his news, said hearing a second-round pick. That's kind of a guess.
Okay.
That's not set in stone. So I don't have to get that mad yet, I guess is my point.
All right. I mean, listen, I guess you know this guy better than I know him, obviously. So if you think he's lying, you think it's just
I'm not saying he's lying. I'm just saying he might know the trade talks are underway and heating up, but he might not know the compensation is my point.
Okay.
There's a big difference.
All right. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. They better get something in return. That's more than a second-round pick. That's the big story here.
I've never been so excited for the Jaguars to trade somebody away for a second-round pick and watch Brent Martineau come unhinged.
Go. I'm gonna tweet right at John Shipley right now.
Okay, call
John,
people
who covers
out.
the Jags.
Yeah,
does a nice job for SI.
What did he do?
What did he tweet?
I don't know, man. Hang on. I'm trying to look up defensive tackle free agents right now, and you got me doing 100 things here. What did John Shipley tweet? Let me type his name in. Do I follow him? You better believe I do. All right. He said a 2 is perfectly okay, fine for Yannick Ngakoue considering the reality being just redoing the situation a year from now. Ideally, you would want to get more for a 25-year-old who has 37.5 sacks and 14 forced fumbles since being drafted, but that's how things are. And Brent Martineau, your response.
Yeah, I just said, don't go crazy on me, John Shipley. A 2 isn't enough. All right? Guns are ablazing right now.
See, I like it because that's your style.
You got me, as you guys would say, triggered.
I wish you would have hit him with the K, just the lowercase K. You should hit him with the lowercase K, man. Come on, Brent.
I like John. Unlike
so
that, whoever that was on YouTube yesterday. Didn't know him.
Oh, wow. So now you take him on the show, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you better get him to call in here and explain him.
He can call in.
Okay, you can't just take somebody like that and call him out.
9901.
All right, you can't just take something like that and call him out, man.
What do you mean? I did.
Okay, yeah, I thought you'd just message him. I didn't know you'd actually take him on the show.
I say you're crazy, Shipley.
All right, man. Okay.
2 isn't enough.
Okay.
This is kind of funny. Jackson Phil on Twitter.
Yeah.
He retweets like Roto World, like said Jaguars, quote, extremely close to trading Ngakoue.
Yeah.
And he says Leonard Williams in a 2 so that Williams can retire next week. That's probably what happened.
For sure.
If they trade for somebody and he retires, then there is definitely a conspiracy that's happening.
It's got to be in the ESPN 30 for 30. So at least we have that going for us. Like the way this training camp has gone, it's going to be a 30 for 30. What if I told you?
John, by the way, has replied. He said, I don't even wholly disagree, but I'd get it. Would make more sense if a defensive tackle is involved with it, though. It would make no sense if a defensive tackle isn't involved,
Brent,
John.
He gets it. Come on, he gets it. Brent Martineau is coming unhinged, and I love it. I'm here for it,
I do think we have to bring you up to date on the fact that I have found that this is not imminent, and that's what the early response is that I'm getting back. But also there's not denial happening.
Yeah.
So there could be some conversations heating up, which, again, I think just to revisit, because this is a huge story if it does happen, but right now it's hearsay, rumors, and one report. And I think we have to make that crystal clear. It's great for radio. This is what radio is great for. On TV, I can only go so far with this right now. On radio, go get it. Go have fun with it. We love it. But we also said this, that if something has materialized, Jan picking up a new agent has certainly sped up something here. The conversations with Caldwell the last week or so, week and a half, have certainly sped up the feelings that they have, and I would assume more cordial than it's been a rocky road with Jan and his previous agent and the Jacksonville Jaguars. No blame game there. It just has. I mean, it's been a rocky road. And so I think they're on better footing in terms of the Jan camp now, the new Jan camp, and the Jags camp. And maybe that expedited something in terms of talks happening.
Sure.
And the potential for something to happen. What if there is this that's going on, there are talks, what it certainly would verify, though, once again, and confirm, is that Jan still wants out.
Yeah.
Nothing's been remedied to the point where he's like, hey, yeah, I'll come in here and see what happens, and let's give this another chance. That obviously wouldn't be the case. It's, let me get out of here.
Interesting tweet from Adam Kaplan saying that the Raiders had been re-engaged with talks with the Jaguars before training camp. And then he says, will be interesting to see who gets him if he does get moved. So he brought up the Raiders.
The Raiders were a team that I think people had mentioned and talked about. I don't know what they have on their defensive front.
Yeah.
To help potentially, because their second-round pick isn't enough for me. So I'm looking for defensive tackles.
Yeah, you got John. I mean, as far as backups, you got Jonathan Hankins, Ross Daniel. Dayton Jones is officially there in Oakland now. He just or LA, in Vegas. I mean, yeah.
Could Hankins be a guy? Hankins could be maybe a guy thrown into a deal like that. Again, I'm not sitting here telling you need a Pro Bowl guy. We had this discussion.
Yeah.
But you need a guy. There's no reason to jump into this thing if you're not. Guess what? The draft isn't until next April, potentially.
Correct.
You can have that second-round pick whenever the heck you want the second-round pick. Yeah. If you're going to do a deal now, you do it because somebody can help you out in 2020, and you're getting a player for it. So, again, that's where I think Lombardi's again, I think it was a guess on Lombardi's part in terms of what I'm hearing. So I'm not saying he reported that it's definitely just a second-round pick. But if there's activity going on, it can't be just a second-round pick. It would make no sense on the Jaguars' part for it to just be a second-round pick. We also said it doesn't need to be a Pro Bowl guy. It needs to be a body that you believe in a little bit. Yeah. That is what Rodney Gunter was. Gunter was a $6 million a year guy, willing to give you $11 million guaranteed. He was a guy they believed in that could take a next step, and be a very nice player for them.
Correct.
They didn't say, hey, future All-Pro, replace Calais Campbell. No, that's not the guy you're thinking here. And I would think in a trade, it would be the same way. You'd say, okay, give me a guy that we think is pretty good. We have a good tape on. We have a good evaluation of. We think he might even take a next step. He could be here for the next 3, 4, 5 years and give us that second-round pick. Well, then that would make a lot more sense. Everybody wins. Everybody's happy. Bye, Jan. Thanks for your 37.5 sacks.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, right? Because we'll see what happens with Timmy Jernigan. Obviously, when he was playing at a high level, I mean, they weren't a lot better than him at the nose tackle or even 3 technique position. So you got Timmy Jernigan. And if you bring a guy in for depth purposes, I understand that. But we're on the same page, Brent. It's got to be more than a second-round pick. It just has to be. And let me ask you this. From a branding perspective right now, from an ESPN 690 branding perspective, if Yannick Ngakoue was to get traded, and number one, if he does, then I win that bet because he didn't show up he didn't show up for the Jaguars. He got traded away. So I win that bet. But
I'm already down one. Yeah. One of my bets retired.
But more importantly for the branding perspective, when Yannick Ngakoue when he gets traded, do you and me take some baseball bats, some aluminum baseball bats, go find Ryan Davis's house, break his kneecaps a little bit, and that way, I mean, it's nothing but a formality. I'm getting a call from Uncle Dave Caldwell saying, hey, you got to come fill a roster spot because we need you. And that way, we can put the ESPN 690 sticker on the helmet and everything, and now we're talking. And now we're cross-platforming our branding.
I like I said, man, you're about to do the historic double that's never been done.
Yep.
That is fight in a cage in MMA on September 12th and make your NFL 2020 debut on September 13th.
And talk on the radio as well. I mean, I'm literally I'll be playing in games, and then at halftime, I'm coming on the show, Brent. I'm giving you the updates. We got this, man. Halftime interviews, man. Let's go.
Can you do a Facebook Live inside the stadium or not? Those are the rules.
Let's make it happen.
Can you make that in your contract?
Oh, I got you. You better. I'm gonna be dishing out everything too, man. I'm gonna be the ultimate snitch. So I can't wait, man. Hey, Ryan Davis, better lock those doors tonight, bud. We're coming for you.
Ryan Davis, former Jag.
Yeah.
Jags looking for bodies potentially to play if the attrition continues on their defensive front. All right, we'll continue more Jags. And, hey, quick thought, actually, C.J. Henderson. We're talking about the cryptic tweets part. What about on the field? There's been earlier reviews have been pretty good. You were out there to practice. I think he's looked good. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I actually take away from the first week. I'm like, okay, I like this now. And they stuck him right out there. This wasn't like, hey, you got to earn your spot, and you got to. No, they put him right out there.
You're the guy now. Yeah.
I will say this because I'm not in getting carried away mode about early practices, and I'm definitely not in that. And there was like a couple of pieces of video that came out. Heck, we might even have shared the video on CBS 47 and Fox 30. And it was coverage against Chris Conley. It was like, hey, look at the coverage, great coverage on this play. And I was like, okay, but I really want a good throw. Like, do you remember that play I talked about? But that's just one play. He looks good. He's getting good reviews. It's a good start. Let's just say that for C.J. Henderson, for a guy who's going to be a lot of pressure on. I think he will have some growing pains. I really do. Nature of the position. And I don't, in my mind, believe he's like as ultra talented as a guy like Ramsey was when he first got here, and bam, it was like immediate. I think it's going to take a little bit of time, but the early start is a really good sign, I think, for C.J. Henderson because they need him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, right now, are we going to know, is he going to be a perennial Pro Bowler for the future? Absolutely not. But what we can see if he's getting confidence or not. And I think right now, from what we've seen at practice, and keep in mind, I mean, I'm sure it's good on good, or, they call it fast speed, where it's not all out, right? Like, you're not trying to take a guy to the ground. You're probably not trying to jam a guy 100%. So as far as the look's concerned, he's still getting acclimated, obviously, and we're not getting 100% right now from the wide receivers and cornerbacks. But with that being said, I think his confidence is building. I think he feels like he is indeed the guy. I mean, go on Twitter and he'll tell you about it. So I like that point. I like where his confidence level is at right now because that's what you want from a rookie. Some rookies come in at training camp and they're expected to be the guy right away, and you see it. We've heard Quincy Williams talk about it. Your head's in a beehive. To me right now, at least from what I saw at practice, C.J. Henderson's head is not in a beehive yet. Now, when it's week one and, it's live bullets flying out there and Philip Rivers is coming for you, then we'll see what he's got. But from a confidence standpoint right now, I like what I see from C.J. Henderson.
Yeah, and you need it on that position. I mean,
it's all confidence, man.
That's what that position is definitely all about. All right, listen. We'll get back to football. We'll keep you updated on the on stuff. Right now, it's kind of I think it's a little more substantial than a rumor. I really do. I mean, I think there's something happening. But again, I'll just say from everything I can gather right now, it's not imminent. So I don't think in our show today we're going to get word that he has been traded to X team for X amount, which better be more than the second round pick only. Hey, Kuz, what happened, by the way, man? I thought we were talking that we were going to shotgun Gatorade today. We never picked it up.
I have no idea where to find Gatorade cans.
Gatorade in a can. Where is Kuz? Kuz like a Wawa guy and stuff, and he hasn't ever seen Gatorade in a can?
They don't have them at Wawa, do they?
I know, but if you're saying he's a convenience store guy,
yeah,
it's like
you've never run a can? Oh,
no,
it's so good.
Literally,
you've had it before. It's good.
When I saw that photo, I thought Minshew was shotgun a Budweiser after. I was like, I didn't know. I was like, whoa, what is going on?
I'll tell you what. Jan gets traded for a second round pick only. I'm going to be shotgunning more than a Gatorade.
Do you think that should be a team thing after every Jags
Who
win?
wants to sponsor that segment? Brent gets belligerent because Yannick Ngakoue got traded for a second-round pick.
Belligerent Brent. He just goes on a minute-long rant.
Yeah, and today's sponsor is yada, 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 and I'll be drinking the whole bottle.
Budweiser.
Budweiser is.
Another B.
Yeah, well, I'm more of a Miller Lite guy myself, but it is what it is, man. Bud Light, yeah.
There you go.
But I'm more of a Miller guy.
They're all connected in some way. I feel like it's like scale now in the beer companies.
Don't say that in Wisconsin, Brent.
They all own something that they all own all these other ones that you don't even know they own.
Wait, so are you saying Bud Light and Miller?
No, Bud Light, Miller.
Okay, I was going to say because you get stabbed in Wisconsin for saying that. So be careful.
But it wouldn't surprise me if it came out as the Coca-Cola company owns all of them.
Yes, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's a little bit like that.
Okay.
Now, how about some college talk real quick? FSU at 4 is what we do. Florida State Seminoles. Here you're home right on ESPN 690 for the Noles. Football and basketball. I was talking a little bit about the Florida State basketball program earlier in the day, playing some little golf with some basketball guys, and was talking a little FSU hoops. But we're going to talk a little football instead. Things have settled down once again in Tallahassee, but they do have some injuries now. Chuba Purdy, broken collarbone. So we went from 4 quarterbacks. We kind of had this conversation, right? It's like, well, maybe.
Yeah.
They say, hey, it's honeymoon year. It's a weird year. Let's roll with the future. Maybe Purdy's the future. Well, that option's out the window. Mm-hmm. But it's sounding like, if you read reports and guys that cover Florida State all the time, and even a little bit of what Mike Norvell's saying, it's pretty clear kind of what we thought I think we thought this. I know I did.
Yeah.
That James Blackman would have such an upper hand here because of the experience factor. And it sounds like he's kind of in the lead out of now what is a triumvirate instead of 4 quarterbacks battling for a job.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of on the same page here, Brent. I thought Purdy, if a guy was going to overpass Blackman, it was going to be Purdy, right? Because he is essentially Norvell's guy. Like, that's the guy that Norvell I think he was supposed to go to Louisville. He coaxed him out of going to Louisville, brought him to FSU. So, like, that was the guy that I thought could overtake Blackman. But right now, the way I see it, it's James Blackman's job to lose. You know, I mean, week 1, we're talking James Blackman being the starter. And maybe it's more of just like, hey, I want to create controversy. Like, Purdy could be the guy. But keep in mind right now with Norvell what he's got to go through, right? Like, this is not a normal year. And as far as guys being acclimated, we talk about the Jaguars all the time where they're casually ramping up, you know, and trying to find that crescendo to where they can let loose and find out who you got. Well, college is the same way, right? Like, these guys haven't been training together. These guys haven't been going through the proper, you know, weightlifting programs and things like that. A lot of these guys have been on their own. So it's a lot to ask a freshman quarterback to come and be like, hey, by the way, I know you haven't been here for spring. We haven't gone through spring practice. My name is Mike Norvell. This is what I want to do. This is a new offense for you, new culture. Good luck with that. Usually when you have those kind of circumstances, you want to go with the experienced quarterback, and obviously the experienced quarterback right now is James Blackman.
Here's the quote from Mike Norvell about James Blackman. I'm really pleased with the continued development of James Blackman. He's putting together a really nice camp. You can tell the confidence is starting to develop with him within the offense. I thought today was one of his better days, seeing him getting to his second and third progressions. And there's been 10 practices for Florida State. So, again, it makes a lot of sense. And I thought it was probably his job to lose, and it's probably still his job to lose. I mean, there's a long way to go. I mean, you wouldn't be thinking of broken collarbone for one of the quarterbacks at this stage of camp.
Yeah.
And you got a broken collarbone for Purdy. So who knows what happens health-wise. Again, the nice thing for Florida State, it feels like, at least for the first time in a few years again, they finally have some options that you can like. I mean, everybody's always got options, but you're always like, hope we don't get to that option. Well, now they got some options that they might like. So that's good. You know what's a little interesting, too? You know, the college coach, they don't like to say anything about injuries. And some of that is it's protection of the players and all that. But, like, Norvell said he would be out. It was an undisclosed injury, didn't say what he injured, and said he'd be out a few weeks. Well, then Chubba Purdy's family on social media said he underwent surgery for a broken collarbone. So they broke the news. I mean, it's like it's going to come out.
I know, man. Like, well, I mean, there's no advantage by not saying it like right now, right?
I think some of that just natural protection of the player, whether they want to put it out there, all that stuff.
Sure.
I mean, kind of in a COVID world, too, in that sense. But it's like everything's got to be a secret sometimes in football. In football, more than any sport. At the college level, at the NFL level, heck, probably at the high school level. It's like they are the CIA. I mean, the secrets that exist, and I think 80% of them for no reason.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, but there's a little bit of a feel like that. More college talk. Kids are back on campus in a lot of places. We see Notre Dame, they're sending kids back to the virtual world instead of classes.
Yeah.
UNC, back to the virtual world. We're getting a lot of this. Who knows? Hasn't happened around here just yet, I don't think. Although I do think some of the high schools that are back in, I think some of the private schools are back in. I think they've already had a bout or two with this, and I don't know exact, so I don't want to speak out of turn. But I think, like, some kids have been sent home or quarantined, so they're already that's just going to be the way it is. I mean, they're not. I think they're doing temperature checks in most places in terms of schools, right?
Yep.
Kind of Ronans, right?
Absolutely.
And that is not foolproof. No. Number one.
No.
That's not the swab test.
No.
So bottom line is we know we're sending our kids to school, and we know that they run the risk of getting COVID-19 testing positive.
Yeah.
But we also believe, and I mean, we believe this as in our family, and I think the stuff that's happened at Notre Dame, stuff that's happened at UNC, we believe is going to happen here in high school or in elementary school or whatever. It just, sooner or later, there's going to be enough positives that people kind of freak out a little bit, or to protect from getting more positives, they say, hey, for the next week or so, we're going online.
Well, yeah, but listen, keep in mind, though, with the UNC, I mean, when you have college kids back on campus, what are they going to do, Brent? They're going to party, right? And they're going to socialize and going to be around together and things like that. Now, high schoolers, mind your manners and be good, okay? That's all I'm going to say from that. But colleges, it's different. You know, colleges, we saw how spring break was treated at Clearwater Beach with all those college kids there. So essentially what happened in UNC was you had a bunch of kids get together, probably had a little back-to-school shindig, and then the numbers skyrocket.
Well, we've seen the shindigs, by the way,
Yes.
from Tuscaloosa to everywhere else.
So it was only a formality, right? It was only a matter of time. So here you are at UNC. I guess where my concern comes in a little bit, Brent, is, and I've been pretty adamant about how I feel about the situation. To me, it's hard to justify, and I'm not trying to be political here. I'm just saying where I'm coming from. It's hard to justify keeping your college football team on campus in a quote-unquote bubble if the other students are off campus, okay? Because you're not an employee. Yes, you have a scholarship, but you're still a student athlete. And if the most important part is supposed to be about the student part of it, well, if students aren't on campus, then why are college football players? And it also begs the question where if you're really going to quarantine these football players and you're going to put them in a bubble like maybe some schools are going to try to do here, and you're going to quarantine them off, is that ethically wrong? Because these aren't professional athletes. These are student athletes. These people aren't getting paid for this, okay?
It's an interesting thought, okay, and it's a good thought. And I actually asked around a little bit on this topic today because, first of all, it's up to the schools for that jurisdiction. It's not like the NCAA is going to come out and oversight that and say, hey, if you are not in 80% of, in-person classes, well, then we can't have students playing football and soccer and all the rest. So it's going to be up to each institution is what it sounds like. There's a little technicality here, too. There are a lot of classes being done already on college campuses across the country, and probably now some high schools as well, virtually and online. Mm-hmm. But there are also always going to be those classes that are lab-based, research, whatever it might be. It's a smaller population that go to those classes. But those classes, have to be done in person. You can't do, a lab class over Zoom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
so they're going to find a way to make those happen, and they'll quarantine the areas and social distance. But usually those classes, I would think, I don't know this for a fact, but I would think from my experience when I was in school, are a little bit, you might have 20 kids in one class, but for that kind of class, usually you have 12. For a lab class or something.
Well, and I'll be honest, speaking from experience with my wife who's going to med school right now, at Florida, they had to do all their classes online still. Usually where it would be hands-on stuff and you're working with people, you're meeting with clients and, patients, things like that, it's still done online right now.
I got you. Well,
I guess, don't know. I'm sure everything's different.
Well, in some instances, I guess most of the folks I talked to today about this was more, listen, there's going to be most likely, there will be some element of students still on campus taking a class here or there.
Sure.
It might be a very small population, but my point is that's almost like an out for the sports. They say, hey, we still do have students. Nobody asks how many. They say, we still do have, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a technicality there that you can say, well, not everybody is virtual school. Not everybody is online school. And so I think there's a little bit of an out there. Now, say that didn't exist anyway. I get your point, but I've got this twofold as a rebuttal. Mm-hmm. One, ask those kids in the Big Ten right now
if they would mind quarantine.
Yeah, if they would mind, even though they're not getting paid, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Now, I didn't even go to the waiver yet. But I'm just saying, leave the waiver aside, but ask those kids, okay, you're going to have to be quarantined, but you're not getting paid. That whole idea, I'd be like, I don't care, I want to play. Right?
True.
Right now, those kids in the Big Ten definitely would be doing that. We're seeing that. They'll almost sign the dang waiver right now.
For sure. There might be a couple, though, that maybe they have family. Let's be honest. Some of them have kids, have families. It might be kind of hard on some of those guys.
But aren't we seeing that it's a smaller population, I guess is my point, right?
Yeah, and I'll give that to you all day. Yeah.
So, and then I'll just say this from a personal standpoint. So our kids are going to high school this year, going Creekside. And which, by the way, depending on how this Jan and second round thing might work out, they might not want me to say what high school my kids are associated with, so the high school's not associated with me after what happens. But I've thought of this a little bit, and we've actually raised the question. School's not starting down. Fall practices can now start across the state of Florida on August 24th. That's next Monday. Well, our kids are going to play baseball and softball. They're not in season, but they still do fall workouts and fall ball and those kind of things. Well, I'm thinking, at least I've been told that can start to happen. whenever that might be, whether it's August 24th or September 5th. You can start to do that. If my kid was playing football or soccer or something else, I would be very adamant and for the fact that if students did get sent home in its entirety, that you could still go back and play sports as long as they still thought it was a go and they didn't shut it down across the state or across the county or across whatever. Now, there's a possibility they could do that anyway. But if they were still having sports and they thought they could do that, even though they were going to send the kids home and do everything virtually, I'd be for that. Because I would want, I wouldn't, again, you got to come from like the student athlete and the parental point of view. They don't want to lose these seasons. Like, you don't want to lose that time.
Correct.
And so as long as you feel it's safe, whether you're on campus or not, I think there would be a big wave of people that will say, yeah, I still think you can go to, it's a whole lot different sitting in a classroom with 32 kids or walking the halls with 2,000 kids than it is being on a baseball field, because I've seen that work. We did that this summer, you know? So that's, I get the point. I think it's an interesting thing. And in fact, I thought there would be more either legislation or rules across the board on a high school or college level that if you're not in school, you can't play ball. I thought they would do that. Well, it sounds like it's going to be individualized from campus to campus to campus to say, hey, you come up with that. And I guess I would say, I don't know if it's an ethical thing. I don't know if it's the exact right thing, but I would say I would hope if they think sports can still continue, but school is better to be done online, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Well, listen, and you made some great points, and I have nothing. Listen, far be it from me to not listen to the athletes, right? If the athletes want to play, then go have at it. You know, I mean, I'll support the athletes all day, and I understand that. I guess I'll just end it with this. I understand that eventually we'll see a change with college athletics where players will indeed be getting paid, you know, for their likeliness and things like that. I'm just saying I would feel more comfortable with this conversation if I knew that the players are getting paid right now, or if there was like a stipend put in place where, you know what, you're going to be quarantined off and bubbled off from your families and your loved ones or whoever, and you got to stay here, but would it make it worth your while?
Yeah.
I would feel better saying that. But ethically, it's hard for me to come along and say, well, this makes sense to put these guys in the bubble. But I understand if the guys don't be in the bubble, then so be it. I'm just saying from an outside perspective, not a student-athlete's perspective, I have a hard time seeing the ethics in that.
I do think the protection from the university or the high school, whatever, is the opt-out possibility. If you're not comfortable with it, you don't have to do it. And quite frankly, it's not like you're picking that. And the alternative is if they made everybody do that, you'd still be missing that time.
Yep.
So, and again, you're not going to lose your year of eligibility from a college standpoint if you opt out. The NCAA has already said that. So be interesting to see how it happens and the ramifications of it, how widespread it gets, not only in high schools, but across college campuses all over this country. When we come back, we get back to the NFL a little bit. Hard Knocks, did you see it? McVay or Lynn? If you were a player, who would you want to play for? It's next on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Scattered storms through the Wednesday evening commute, gradually coming to an end tonight. Partly to mostly cloudy on Thursday with more afternoon storms, high 89. And then partly cloudy Friday with midday and afternoon showers and storms, high 88 degrees. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Sima.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where for a limited time, you can get 5 years, 0 interest financing. You've been waiting for a new ride, right? Just waiting for the right sale. Well, the time has come because every quality pre-owned car, truck, SUV, and van has been marked way down for you to drive it home today when you buy from Arlington Toyota. You got to check out Arlington with over 750 new and quality pre-owned on the lot every day, just waiting for you to drive home. Domestics, luxury vehicles, imports, and Toyota certified pre-owned. It's all priced low and ready to go at Arlington Toyota. If you're worried about your credit, well, don't be. Because with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon scores from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And when it comes to total peace of mind, Arlington's got you covered with their 30-day exchange policy. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. So what are you waiting for? All pre-owned is on sale now at Arlington Toyota, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Security experts recommend that if you have a do-it-yourself alarm, don't use their alarm signs or stickers. Why? Because it tells crooks exactly which system you have, and some signals can be jammed with a common garage door opener. Yes, the equipment is built that cheap. It's not been tested by UL Laboratories, and the DIY company selling it has no license. They use a third party. It just doesn't measure up. That's why thousands of business owners and families trust SafeTouch Security. All SafeTouch systems are custom designed for each installation and installed by state-certified technicians and are covered by a lifetime warranty. The SafeTouch two-way communicator provides the fastest possible response time with an 8-second average. All monitoring is done from the SafeTouch 24-hour monitoring center, giving you peace of mind for you and your family. SafeTouch Security has been protecting you and your family like no one else for 35 years. Go to safetouch.com today for a free home consultation. State license number EF0000233.
There's a new modern patient-centered orthopedic practice in Jacksonville.
We believe that the patient pays money for a doctor and should be seen by a doctor.
Ortho Edge.
They're getting the most technologically available medicine there is.
Ortho Edge.
You're going to get a much better experience with your physician. We all see our patients.
Get the answers right away and more focused care on patients.
Find out more about us at orthoedge.com.
Ortho Edge. We're in the DePaul building attached to St. Vincent's Medical Center, Riverside.
Hi, I'm Nathan from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park. I don't know about you, but I just want to get in the car and drive somewhere. Windows down, radio playing, exploring some two-lane back roads. It's like a mini vacation. So I say, get in your new Chevy and go. Huh? You don't have a new Chevy? Well, we can fix that, like a new Equinox. Right now, the factory says take 15% off, but we can do up to 5 better. That's right, up to 20% off, or choose a discount and 0% for up to 84 months. Only at Gordon Chevy in Orange Park or GordonChevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
Celebrate your love with end of summer savings now at Beard's Diamonds.
Right now at Beard's, take advantage of 5 years zero interest financing.
Yes, 5 years, zero interest financing with zero down. Take advantage of Beard's already lowest prices in town. But now, spread your payments out over 60 months.
How about a $6,000 Tacori or Veragio ring? You pay just $100 a month.
Or a pair of diamond studs for $1,500. You pay just $25 a month. It's the best deal of the summer. Get her that piece of jewelry she's been dreaming about and spread your payments out over 60 months. But it's only for a limited time and only at Beard's Diamonds.
Beard's Diamonds, located at the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Come into Beard's Diamonds. See the difference. Save thousands.
After a long day, having my dogs greet me at the door with their silly smiles and wagging tails makes me happy. I want to keep that joy with me for years to come. That's why I trust Forever Vets Animal Hospital to keep my pets healthy. Forever Vets was voted 2019's Best Vet in Jacksonville Magazine's Readers Poll, and it's easy to see why. The affordable wellness plans are tailored to meet all of your pet's changing needs as they grow. Open 7 days a week, Forever Vets friendly staff is available to treat you and your pet with care. They combine extended hours with online booking to allow you to give your pet quality care while accommodating your schedule. Go online to forevervets.com to find which of their 9 locations is nearest you. And don't forget their newest location in Bartram Market. Forever Vets Animal Hospital, keeping your pets happy and healthy forever.
Let's say you have ED, male impotence. Or maybe you suffer from PE and can't satisfy your partner. If you have either or both of these embarrassing conditions, Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution. Meet Dr. Rabinski, a specialist in men's health.
If you're experiencing ED or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center has custom blended medications designed just for you. There's no pain and no surgery. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues, not a problem. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, Prime Men's Medical Center has patients lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. You'll see results on your first visit guaranteed, or your visit is free. And best of all, it's affordable.
For a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians, call 904-206-8105. We guarantee that you'll see results on your first visit, or there's no charge for your consult. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now at 904-206-8105. That's 904-206-8105.
Injuries on the job can cause you to lose control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar & Levine. Money is not coming in and your medical bills are piling up. Our legal team is here to help. We can help you file all your workers' compensation claims to make sure you get the proper benefits you're entitled to. If you've been injured on the job, call the law offices of Anajar & Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Hi, I'm Hunt Hawkins, CEO of Steinmart and chair of the 2020 First Coast Heart Walk. The 2020 Heart Walk is going virtual, and while we might not be able to meet in person, we still need you to support the American Heart Association's mission of being a force for a world of longer, healthier lives. Register and start a fundraising team today at firstcoastheartwalk.org, and then make plans to join us on Saturday, September 12th to Heart Walk where you are. Let's make a difference in the fight against heart disease and stroke. Register today at firstcoastheartwalk.org.
Locally sponsored by Steinmart, Florida Blue, and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. Different cities are going to have different rules when it comes to crowds for stadiums. For instance, for September, there will be no crowds at Foxborough. And when the Jags face the Titans in Tennessee, the stands will be empty. Despite all of this, NFL insider Adam Schefter says the season will start on time.
There's going to be an NFL season. We'll see how long it lasts. I think they're confident they could pull this entire thing off. The NFL's created its own virtual bubbles within its own cities. They're not official bubbles because players do go and come from home back to the training facility. But there is regimented testing every day. The players' temperature is taken every single time. They get the regular COVID tests. I think right now there are like 19 players total on the reserve COVID list. 19 out of an entire league.
In the NBA last night, the Magic over the Bucks. Heat topped the Pacers. Rockets toppled the Thunder. And the Blazers beat the Lakers. If you're working from home and still want to listen to ESPN, tell your smart speaker, play ESPN 690.
Everybody, this is Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Hope you catch the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. But if you can't catch it, or if you want to go back and listen again, check out the Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 podcast. Just search ESPN 690 in your podcast app.
Austin Lane.
And Tony Khan clap back. There you go, Kuz. There's your clap back for you.
Clapped.
So,
It's a
just clap.
gamer thing.
Eric Clapton. Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be a good gamer name.
I'm using that tonight.
Gamer name.
Check your boy, I'm Eric Clapton.
Oh, that's so good.
Brent Martineau.
Yeah. You guys just had a moment.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
We're having to coach COVID now. That's part of your new discipline, and it is becoming more than normal. I don't think about the mask as much as I did when I first put it on, and our players either have to have the double shield on while they're playing, or they have to have their mask pulled up while they're playing. And then when they're on the sideline, they have to social distance, and they have to have one of those two on. So keep your helmet on or pull your mask up. And these kids have been incredible. It's not normal. It's not easy to do, but they're trying their best to do what's right, to keep everybody safe, because they do want to play.
Well, I think that will be one of the deals. If sports does persevere through this, is able to continue on, I think you are going to have to give a lot of credit to everybody. But I think you got to give a lot of credit to the players in the buy-in. I mean, it's different. They're not used to this stuff. Some of them are young. Some of them even immature to the point where you're just praying and hoping, if you're a coach, that they're going to buy in. But I think right now they deserve a lot of credit. So at the professional level, at the collegiate level, and we'll see what happens even at the high school level for doing it this way and under the protocols that you have to do. And I think it's easy from the outside to be like, well, if you want to play, then do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. That's easy to say in a lot of things. Don't go eat a bag of Cheetos either if it's sitting in my pantry. That's easy to say. It's not as easy to do.
Well, if they're puffed, then let them be. If they're crunchy, then go get those bad boys, especially those Flamin' Hots, too. Are you a big Flamin' Hot guy?
And you are you are a millennial. Like,
wow.
There is an age group here.
Oh, wow. Go ahead and what do you got to say?
Because...
hit me with it, Brent.
No, I like spicy things.
Okay.
Not like crazy spicy, but
Sure.
I like a little kick.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. A little flavor.
A little Frank's Red Hot.
But everything...
Don't like that, but go ahead.
But everything has, like... They're called what? The Flaming Hot Cheetos?
Yep.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah, show them some respect. They could be sponsoring the show one day. A little respect for
Flamin'
Cheetos.
Hot takes from Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Look at that.
It writes
Hey,
itself.
I mean...
Hey, but you know what?
Hello, sales!
Yeah, but no, don't worry about it.
Sales, are you listening?
No, this is my thing. This is not your thing. You're
You
talking
can have
smack
it.
about it. Oh, I'll take it. Thank
No,
you.
you can have it.
Anyways, go on.
I'm trying to get you an endorsement here.
Go on.
Or
knows I need 'em.
Kuz.
Yeah.
Kuz came up with the idea. I mean, Kuz is looking at you right now like, I'm the one that just came up with the damn
Yeah,
segment. That's
well,
you getting it.
I'm not a
I'm
big
a big-
Flamin' Hot Cheetos guy either, though, so you can have
Oh,
it.
you guys are so soft. You guys are so soft. Go on, though.
The thing is, like, if you give me the choice between Flaming Hot Cheetos and Cheetos, I'm eating Cheetos all day. Like, my mind doesn't go to Flaming Hot Cheetos. But like Ty does not eat regular Cheetos. Like, he just will eat the Flaming Hot Cheetos.
Ty, my boy, I hear you, man.
I'm not a big hot Cheetos person, but like Doritos, I want the hot Doritos. So like I'm kind of, I don't know. I think it might just be a Cheetos thing for me.
You just said, Brent, that you like spicy things.
Well, I do. You know what? Here's the thing that I used to, but some things are just...
I'm so...
You remember those, what are those like fries? Remember like the hot fries in the
fries.
bags? Is that what they're called?
Yep.
Yeah,
Hot fries.
that's a little old school.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like the hot fries thing, I thought they were good. Yeah, I did like those.
Yeah.
But it hasn't translated to the Flaming Hot Cheetos or everything else that's hot. Like there's hot everything now.
Yeah.
Right?
But correct. But you said that you like spicy things. So why wouldn't you want to add spiciness and flavor to your Cheetos?
Yeah, I can't find a good answer for you.
But you know what? I'm a millennial. I'm a typical millennial.
Well, I'm
trying to get to the bottom of it, and I can't even get a clean answer from you of why you're trying to hate on Flamin' Hot Cheetos right now.
To be fair, I actually
I'm
had
not
someone...
hating on them. I'm just saying it shows your age that you like Flaming Hot Cheetos.
I
I guarantee you
like
the cutoff
good things.
of 35 and under is they like
Why?
Flaming Hot Cheetos. 36 and over, I bet they don't. I bet they go to the regular Cheetos.
Oh, that sounds like a poll question. Sounds like a poll question.
At what age are Flaming Hot Cheetos no longer acceptable?
No, I'm going to be like, do you like Flamin' Hot Cheetos? Yes
I
or no?
just did. Flaming Hot Cheetos or regular Cheetos. I just asked.
Oh, I think you'd be
I
shocked.
didn't do the poll.
The wording.
I'll have to do a poll.
You got to see.
Listen, I'm trying to
you're
tease
scared.
the show.
Because you're scared. That's why. Because you understand how it's going to go down.
Well, they can answer the dang thing on Twitter.
Yeah, but maybe not that passion. Maybe you mean to actually go on Twitter, reply to something that takes time and effort. Doesn't take anything to go on a poll and be like, all right, click yes, click no. Just saying, Brent. I'm just saying though, if you do put out a poll of this thing, you are not going to like the results.
There is...
You're not going to like them.
To that point, though, I think most things, you could probably say 98% of things are better with like a hot flavor to them.
Yeah, there's a little extra added spice. Like it's not like crazy hot. Like you can get through a whole bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos and be okay.
Like I think the only thing that would be bad is like oatmeal. You probably don't want hot sauce in your oatmeal.
No,
it depends what time of summer it is.
Yeah.
Because my lips get burned. And then it's a little harder to eat those.
Sunburn and
Flaming Hot
yo,
Cheetos.
no, that's actually
Who's the millennial?
That
the millennial here?
That is the best thing about the masks.
Who's the
out at
millennial
camp.
here?
My
Go ahead,
lips
keep
don't
going.
get burnt.
Who's the millennial
you
here?
come in here with a mask
complaining
tan.
about burnt lips, and I'm in the wrong. Okay, burnt lips. That's where the show is going now.
Yeah, but
okay.
I won't say who this is because his podcast, I don't really want to say it this way, but he just tweeted, the Jan rumors die off and y'all get left with Cheetos discussion.
Good point.
Absolutely.
Good point.
I told him some things are important and some aren't.
Go ahead and read some other ones, please.
Flaming Hot, next question.
Yep.
And Coach Bucklew says, fire beep or no fire beep?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Got to deal with that.
Yep, a little bit. And I really hope Minshew is,
Regular. Buy crunchy only. Puffs aren't allowed.
Yeah, see, but you're trying to bring puffs to the equation, too. No one's eating puffs.
Don't spin this off. I already said I do both. I usually go crunchy first, but if it's buy one, get one free, I'll do both the puff and the crunchy.
See, and that's your first mistake right there, because you go puffy at all. You know who puppies are for? They're for toddlers who don't have their teeth developed yet.
That's true.
It's like you eating soft crackers. What are you doing?
Listen.
Get it together,
What are
Brent.
those cookies that babies eat as well?
I have no idea. We just gave
not fake news.
We just gave Ronan a big T-bone right away, man. Could get that protein on him. We're not giving him soft crackers.
You can have food. Here's a T-bone.
Yeah, here's a T-bone, son. Get that good branch chain amino acids going in you.
I'm sure you did. Hey, what's the latest on the Yannick Ngakoue front?
Well, listen. So Michael Lombardi's been the source,
Cheetos
right?
and Flaming Hot Cheetos have gone crazy here on social media, so we appreciate your participation.
I like it. Cool. Don't be afraid to read some of those answers out, too, to kind of prove my point a little bit. But until that time, so Michael Lombardi, Brent, he drops kind of the news today a little bit. He's the guy that kind of escalated the whole situation, right? And it started by saying, according to NFL sources, Jacksonville's extremely close to trading Yannick Ngakoue, yada, yada, yada. Now, in the past 30 minutes or so, listen to what Lombardi's got to say. And by the way, Brent, you said he doesn't like Jacksonville. Well, I don't like Lombardi right now because I don't know this guy. But going in through his timeline, I'm not a fan already. So he put out, if the Ravens win the Super Bowl this year, they need to give David Blaine Caldwell a Super Bowl ring. See what you did there? David Blaine.
I got it.
Yeah, good. Fantastic. He has done a tremendous job on their behalf. Trading two of Jacksonville's best defensive linemen for basically later picks is worthy of more than a thank you. So that led to believe that, well, Jan's going to Baltimore, which I kind of called, by the way, a little bit. Now,
trade for Calais.
Yeah, trade for Calais. the ultimate switcheroo. Then Michael Lombardi puts up, I screwed up on the Ravens one, these damn fake tweets. So somebody got to him, I guess. It was a fake tweet. How hard is it to go to somebody's profile, look for a blue check mark, and check how many followers they have? It takes seconds, literally seconds of your day to do that.
Okay, so I'm confused, though. Does that mean that was just on the Baltimore part of that?
Correct.
It's not like he's still standing by his Jan stuff.
Yeah, so then next he goes, okay, this one is real. Hearing the team deeply involved is the New York Jets. That's not fake news. Does it happen? Not sure, but they are trying.
And so the Jets, we brought this up a while ago, Jamal Adams.
Yeah.
But what would be interesting about the Jets, now they don't have Leonard Williams.
They don't. He's
they do
with
have Quinnen Williams.
Yeah, but
they just drafted him.
Correct. You're not going to trade him away.
And I will say they're not as high on Quinnen Williams as it looks right now like they've missed where they picked him. Because he was a top 10 guy, right? Top
Correct.
5 guy, maybe? And
yeah,
I think,
3.
Yeah, I think he got hurt and it just hasn't. I mean, he's still got a long way to go. It's early, but
hasn't been ideal for Quinnen Williams.
Yeah, let's just say, Taven Bryan was viewed at first year.
Yeah.
Quinnen Williams ain't far behind from a Jets standpoint, I don't think.
There you go.
And he was drafted way higher. Mm-hmm. That's my point. But I don't think they're going to sit there and trade. I don't think. But, hey, Jan's a pass rusher, man. There's a lot of value in that. 25-year-old, why not?
Yeah,
Quinnen Williams?
Yeah, but to me, if you trade a top 5 pick like that, you trade him away for, and I get Yannick Ngakoue, there's a value there. But to me, if you're a GM, it's like, well, I've messed this one up, and now look at, like you're trying to offset that. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
No doubt about that. But but here's the interesting part about the Jets, if they were involved again. I mean, listen, this is fun. Rumor mill is hot.
Yeah.
But
Hot Cheetos, by the way.
Do the Jets make some sense? They made more sense to me when Jamal Adams wanted out.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. But do they make some sense now because they have draft capital? And they got some in return, and they already had some. So because Seattle gave them all the draft picks. So now parting with a second-round pick and a player might not be as big a deal.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely makes sense.
If they still had Leonard Williams on the roster, I would have liked the idea of that.
Well, and that's the thing, right? So as we look at the Jets' depth chart right now in terms of their interior defensive linemen, I'll be honest with you, Brent, it's a lot of who's right now, all right? And I don't know a lot about these guys. I know Quinnen Williams, and I'll be honest, that's about it, okay? So not really intriguing from that standpoint.
Give me some names. What you got?
Steve McClendon.
Give me some names.
Henry Anderson.
I know a Henry and an Anderson. Don't know Henry Anderson.
We were talking about Kyle Phillips. We got Kyle Phillips, number 98. Brent, you know who that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about 97 Nathan Shepard.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about, and this one, I might have a stroke when I say this name, full, and I apologize to this guy. I'm sorry, man. Foloranzo Fatakusai. Fatakusi?
Very good. You got it. I have no idea. I'm not looking at it.
Okay.
I don't even want to try to interpret whether you got that right or not.
Okay. Jordan Willis.
Okay. So here's
John Franklin Myers. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let me just ask you this.
Yeah.
Out of all those guys, okay, if I had last year, okay, we're talking before the 2019 season, if I had read through Arizona's defensive line and I had mentioned the name Rodney Gunter, would it sound like one of these guys' names? Again, before you went back and watched tape on him, when they signed him, I'm talking last August.
Yeah. You know what? To be fair, it probably would have.
So maybe there's something like that is my point.
And by the way, John Franklin Myers, friend of the show, that's the guy I interviewed at the Super Bowl for the Rams. He got a sack in the Super Bowl, by the way.
Yeah, good call.
From
So he
us,
came over from the Rams.
from Stephen F. Austin.
There you go. I got you.
Yeah.
Oh, good. See,
I thought he sounded familiar.
Well, why don't you call him up? Do you get his number? See if he's on his way over.
Didn't get his number. Sorry. No, it was an in-and-out interview, Brent.
Again, player and second-round pick. That makes sense. Second-round pick only doesn't make sense. Just to be crystal clear here on a Wednesday on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
At least from the Jets, it's probably going to be a high second-round pick.
This is crystal clear. Lombardi hates the Jags. Look at his tweets.
Yeah.
Hates. Now, he might just hate Caldwell.
Sure. I don't know this guy. I mean,
just go back and look at his tweets, his history of what he says about Jags. It's kind of comical, really.
I don't want a reason to hate on somebody. Like he's already done that enough with the whole Ravens tweet that he had.
Lombardi as well, and he might be right, by the way, on a lot of stuff. Well, because if you're hammering the Jags, you've been right on a lot of stuff.
Is he related to Vince? I'm being serious. Is he?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well then, forget him. So. Forget him then.
By the way. Flaming hot Cheetos or regular Cheetos, still a topic in the final hour.
Who's winning?
McVay or Lynn? Who would you rather play for as a player? If you've been watching Hard Knocks, you get a little bit more of a taste of these guys. That's coming up next on ESPN 690.
Security experts recommend that if you have a do-it-yourself alarm, don't use their alarm signs or stickers. Why? Because it tells crooks exactly which system you have, and some signals can be jammed with a common garage door opener. Yes, the equipment is built that cheap. It's not been tested by UL Laboratories, and the DIY company selling it has no license. They use a third party. It just doesn't measure up. That's why thousands of business owners and families trust SafeTouch Security. All SafeTouch systems are custom designed for each installation and installed by state-certified technicians and are covered by a lifetime warranty. The SafeTouch two-way communicator provides the fastest possible response time with an 8-second average. All monitoring is done from the SafeTouch 24-hour monitoring center, giving you peace of mind for you and your family. SafeTouch Security has been protecting you and your family like no one else for 35 years. Go to safetouch.com today for a free home consultation. State license number EF0000233. You ready for some good news? No, make that great news. You know that new Toyota you've been wanting? It's as good as yours thanks to the huge savings going on now at Arlington Toyota. Every new Toyota Arlington's got is on sale. In fact, you can get 0% for 60 months on 10 new Toyota models. That's 0% for 60 months on 10 new Toyota models. Want to drive away in a new Toyota with no payments? Right now at Arlington, you can. Get no payments for 90 days on your new Toyota purchase. Every single day at Arlington, you're going to have over 750 new and quality pre-owned to choose from on the lot, ready for you to drive home today. And with every new vehicle purchase from Arlington, you get a nationwide lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles. Plus, you can buy with total peace of mind thanks to Arlington's 30-day exchange policy. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. But wait, there's more. It's time to get your new Toyota and save big at Arlington. Wait no more. Now's the time to get your new Toyota and save big at Arlington Toyota, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/August savings for full details.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference. Like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, does your car still only play CDs? No Bluetooth? No CarPlay? You've got an old car, my friend. You know what's better than an old car? A less old car. Get a car or truck that's new to you with a great used car loan from 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Get pre-approved for a loan and shop at any dealership in town. Get a low rate and get rid of that old car today. Apply online at 1to1fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
This message is sponsored by the Florida A&M University Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Where I'm from, marijuana is legal. Can I use it in Florida? Nah, it's illegal here. 20 grams or less is a misdemeanor, and more than 20 grams is a felony. Well, I have epilepsy. Should I try to get a medical marijuana prescription? Now that's legal, but talk to your doctor first to see if it's a qualifying condition and if medical marijuana is even right for you. I will, thanks.
Guys love shopping at Diamonds Direct because they can always get a bigger, better diamond for less.
We got a higher quality diamond for less money than we looked at any other stores that we went to.
I even shopped down in Mexico, thinking maybe down in the Caribbean it would be better off, and nothing could beat what I found here.
The value and the deal that you can get by cutting out the middleman.
You're certainly getting quality and price, which you don't find elsewhere.
But beyond the value, what guys really love about Diamonds Direct is they make it easy with transparency, education, guidance, and respect for you and your budget.
What I thought was going to be a stressful situation ended up being completely pleasant, enjoyable process from beginning to end.
For all the dudes out there, buying jewelry is difficult and stressful. Diamonds Direct eliminates all that.
If you're looking for zero hassle, zero high-pressure sales techniques, Diamonds Direct is the place to go.
Discover a truly guy-friendly jewelry shopping experience.
I guarantee you that once you walk in these stores, you're not going to go anywhere else.
Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Off Town Center Parkway, just left of the Hyatt.
Security experts recommend that if you have a do-it-yourself alarm, don't use their alarm signs or stickers. Why? Because it tells crooks exactly which system you have, and some signals can be jammed with a common garage door opener. Yes, the equipment is built that cheap. It's not been tested by UL Laboratories, and the DIY company selling it has no license. They use a third party. It just doesn't measure up. That's why thousands of business owners and families trust SafeTouch Security. All SafeTouch systems are custom designed for each installation and installed by state-certified technicians and are covered by a lifetime warranty. The SafeTouch two-way communicator provides the fastest possible response time with an 8-second average. All monitoring is done from the SafeTouch 24-hour monitoring center, giving you peace of mind for you and your family. SafeTouch Security has been protecting you and your family like no one else for 35 years. Go to safetouch.com today for a free home consultation. State license number EF0000233.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what a full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best networks, same as big carriers, but for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data and 2G for up to 50% less than the big carriers. No contract, full court coverage, 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
And now a game of Commercial Chicken, brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
So the weather is just all over the place lately, right? One day it's hot, and the next day it's windy for a while. It's like, make up your mind already. Drivers who switch to Progressive could save big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. Different cities are going to have different rules when it comes to crowds for stadiums. For instance, for September, there will be no crowds at Foxborough. And when the Jags face the Titans in Tennessee, the stands will be empty. Despite all of this, NFL insider Adam Schefter says the season will start on time.
There's going to be an NFL season. We'll see how long it lasts. I think they're confident they could pull this entire thing off. The NFL's created its own virtual bubbles within its own cities. They're not official bubbles because players do go and come from home back to the training facility. But there is regimented testing every day. The players' temperature is taken every single time. They get the regular COVID tests. I think right now there are like 19 players total on the reserve COVID list. 19 out of an entire league.
In the NBA last night, the Magic over the Bucks. Heat topped the Pacers. Rockets toppled the Thunder. And the Blazers beat the Lakers. If you're working from home and still want to listen to ESPN, tell your smart speaker, play ESPN 690.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Continue to say this is different. This is different in an aspect of this. I'm in a bubble with no fans. But as far as me being locked in on the game plan, that doesn't change, not one bit. Me going out and making plays at a high level to try to help our team win, that was the same. Nothing changes from that. So that's the same me.
That is LeBron James. Lakers down a game. Bucks down a game. Bucks way more surprising than the Lakers. We'll talk maybe a little bit more NBA, but we got too much hot topic stuff like flaming hot Cheetos and Yannick Ngakoue potential trade rumors. So we'll get to maybe a little NBA later on. But real quickly, I won't even ask you because you're emotionally attached. Kuz, Drive and Dish podcast, Bucks, Lakers.
I am emotionally attached.
Any chance they get upset in this opening round? I mean, seriously, are you thinking, okay, I'll ride with if I gave you a chance at what for $100, and you put $100 down, and I'll give you $2,500 in return, and you have to take one to.
Sounds like Brent's already done this
to win.
Right.
Would you do it? Would you be confident enough? Because we know you're cheap, so $100 would be a lot to you.
Yeah, no, this would be great. I would be like, just tell me which one, and I'll do that.
Yep. You don't have to do it. Is my point though? Would you put $100 on one of the two? Portland or Orlando to upset, you cash in at $2,500.
It's my $100, not your $100.
It's your $100.
Yes.
Then probably not. I wouldn't put money on it. If it was your $100, I'd put it on Portland. But I don't think either of them are going to do it. I could see both of them potentially getting one more game, but it's like you've literally in both instances poked the bear, and so now I feel like we're going to see the real. Bucks, the real Lakers come to play in game 2.
Yeah, I think so, too. I mean, they'll wake up a little bit, I would think, and better team usually wins in these kind of series. But we'll see what happens. They're flawed, and they're not playing well, and it's now more than like 3 games. It's been a bit. So can you just turn it on and turn it off? Well, they proved in game 1 they couldn't. So we'll see what happens. And the pressure will mount, by the way, on the Bucks and the Lakers.
Yeah.
No question about it. That will certainly happen. You watched Hard Knocks.
I did.
The question is, let's get to this question first before we get to Jalen.
Okay.
McVay or Lynn? Two different cats now, but two guys that you kind of would want to play for, I think.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And they're two sides of the coaching spectrum. You have Anthony Lynn, who reminds me a lot of like that cool uncle at like your family cookout, right? Like he's kind of laid back a little bit. Like obviously he's got a pretty calm and soothing demeanor, let's just say. Like, yeah, he can get loud and like any coach could, but he's a little more laid back, I feel like. Obviously, Sean McVay coming from, the John Gruden school of coaching, well, he's like John Gruden, right? He's in your face, he's having fun, he's laughing, he's always talking. He obviously commands the room and things like that. So it begs the question of, if you're a football player, which one would you want to be around? And granted, everyone's got different opinions. From my personality and my perspective, I've been watching Hard Knocks. I'm obviously a big fan of it, and I've been following both coaches carefully. From a personality standpoint, I would much rather prefer Anthony Lynn, just because I found that in my career, the coaches that I do best with aren't the coaches that are always in my face and maybe yelling or even having fun with me. It's the coaches that, are a little more calm, that I respect, where it's like, man, if I mess up, I'm going to let that person down. Right? I had those coaches in college, and I had a couple of those coaches in the NFL. Those are the coaches, to me, that, can bring out the best in me. Not necessarily the vocal coaches, but it's the coaches that are a little more calm, and I respect a lot more. I respect all coaches, obviously, but I just respond better to the laid-back ones. But as far as the styles are concerned, I would probably take Sean McVay if I'm going to build my team, I'm taking Sean McVay because he is so hands-on with his quarterbacks, man. He is so hands-on with that offense, as opposed to Sean McVay, where Justin Herbert during a minute or so messed up the snap count, right? So then Anthony Lynn had to insert himself, say, no, do it better. But like McVay, I mean, every single play he's calling out Jared Goff. He's got his fingerprint, obviously, on that offense, and more importantly, the quarterback. We talk about the quarterback being the most important position on the field. I want a guy who can relate to the quarterback in every single way, and I think that's Sean McVay. So if it's a player, I'm taking Anthony Lynn. If I'm building a team, I'm going Sean McVay.
Interesting. They're both offensive guys. One a lot younger with a lot more, like you said, a little hype, energy, all that kind of stuff. Or talk about relating to the younger player. One's a little bit more of an elder statesman, although not old. Anthony Lynn's not an old guy. And it does have a little bit more of your brother's coaching the team with Sean McVay and your dad's coaching the team with Anthony Lynn feel to it. What's interesting to me, Anthony Lynn showed a little bit in the Hard Knocks series so far that when he needs to get stern or when he needs to give you that look, he has it.
Yep.
There's a lot of talk about even Gus when he was here that he was just, did he have that other side? Did he showcase that other side enough? Whether he did behind closed doors or not. And some people said he would. Some people said, he'd find people, all this kind of stuff more than everybody knew. He just didn't make it part of his persona in front of a microphone and everything else. But it's a fair question for what everybody else is seeing is, well, did you do that enough? Did you show this stern nature, I'm pissed off kind of nature? Well, Lynn kind of has that. He is that soothing kind of wise man, fatherly advice kind of guy, but he also has that look like, I don't want to piss him off, and you kind of get that sense, and I don't even know him. And I haven't played for him. I haven't been around him a lot. But just from watching, you can kind of tell that. McVay, what I wonder about McVay's style, and McVay's going to kind of get back at you because he's going to be careful with this at his age, right? He's like 32 years old. Yeah. And so with his age, I think you got to be a little careful how you treat how much you're yelling at guys. You're talking down to guys as this guy who knows everything. He's got to be careful. He's got to measure that. He's got to weigh that, especially with some of the veterans, I would assume. So what I'm getting to here with McVay, my thought that goes through my mind is when things are going well, when they go to the Super Bowl, man, they really start rolling.
Oh, yeah.
Rolling
Everyone's
because
buying in.
Everybody's fun. Man, this is fun.
It works.
Loose. It's good. It's great to be around. The energy, it just kind of snowballs. What would be interesting to see is how did it go last year when they didn't meet expectations? How much were guys kind of rumbling, especially the older guys, like, really? I mean, this is getting old. Like the shtick that some people would call it, the energy. Is it real? Is he more concerned about his shirt off in his pool overlooking the city?
Which he commented on, by the way, which is awesome. Yeah.
So I guess those things come into play, where I would think good times, bad times, steady, Anthony Lynn, you're not going to get those emotions. And by the way, I'm not trying to be unfair to McVay. I don't know if those emotions did happen in the locker room last year or would happen if they failed miserably. I don't know, but I would just kind of assume there could be a little sense of that because I think it's important to note Anthony Lynn blends in with the organization. If you talk about head coaches across the NFL, Anthony Lynn does not come to mind. If you talk about coaches across the NFL, McVay comes to mind. McVay is what I've argued a little bit with Jalen Ramsey going out to LA. McVay is more of a star than Jalen Ramsey, in my opinion. Like McVay is one of the stars of the team. And that's what's kind of unique about him.
Yeah, I mean,
kind of like Pete Carroll in that sense. Carroll's kind of a star,
Well, without a doubt. And listen, he's a star for a couple of reasons, but the main reason is he's had so much success early on. Now, last year, obviously, maybe they underachieved a little bit, but when you're the new coach, you go to the Super Bowl right away, you're going to get some attention. And when you're the young guy on campus, and it's your first head coaching gig, you're going to get some attention. So I absolutely agree with you here. I mean, you make an argument, too, as well. Like Bill Belichick gets a lot of attention as well, and it seemed to work out for the New England Patriots. So it was interesting, and there's arguments for both sides, but I will say this, though. Regardless of the personality, both guys seem like they can relate to their players pretty well, right? Both guys have made it a habit, especially during these times right now, to I think at least make players feel as comfortable as possible. I'll tell you what else is crazy, too. Seeing Rex Ryan's son now on the Chargers coaching staff. Did they showcase him last night? Because he had like a false test with COVID-19. Rex Ryan's son, man, like, he looks nothing like his dad because I think he used to play at Clemson, if I'm not mistaken. Played his football at Clemson.
I don't know.
Yeah, but looks something like his dad. You can tell from the mannerisms, though. Like there's some Ryan in him. Let's just say that.
I did not see last night's episode yet. I mean, they're going to rerun it and play it, and I'll watch it, but I just haven't seen it yet. So you were telling me a little bit more about the Jalen Ramsey house hunting stuff. And I guess my curiosity, and this is good because I haven't really seen it, actually works better, is he going to, at the end of this, be a star or be one of the most disliked players in the NFL? Now, I understand he's disliked here in Jacksonville. I get it. And I understand with Jalen, even the teams that he played, the other fan bases, you kind of dislike them, but he's the guy that everybody would want on their team.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if by the end of this thing, does anybody even want him on the team? You know, is he coming across like that already, and will that continue?
Listen, as far as, being the loud individual in practice and commanding the attention and the cameras, you saw that last night. I mean, Jalen hasn't changed. What Jalen has going for him, though, is the fact that if you can play like one of the best corners, if not the best corner in the entire NFL, it doesn't matter how you act in front of the cameras. It doesn't matter how you act with your teammates. They're gonna want you on the team, man. All right, because teams want great players. But last night's episode with Jalen Ramsey, and this was kind of like a Jalen Ramsey showcase, and I'm wondering if every single episode is going to be a Jalen Ramsey showcase. But, like the movie scene, I'm trying to think, like the movie scene from Richie Rich when he gets all that money and all of a sudden, like, he's going to the stores and, like, what I want, you got hand. It's like a montage. You know what I'm saying?
I love the fact that, again, another movie that I've seen. I've been asked music questions on Live Local Loud a couple of times when I've been on with those guys, and I've been able to answer it. Now I know what you're talking about a couple of times this week, I think, on movie references.
You're killing it, man.
So,
you know what I'm talking about?
I'm just very proud of myself.
But, it's like a montage and the music's playing in the background. That was Jalen Ramsey last night. He was driving in a vehicle that I've never seen before. I want one.
Custom made.
Don't want to see the price tag. I think it was like a G-Wagon, but once again, I don't know what that was I saw last night. Very cool. So he's driving in this thing, and he's house hunting, Brent, all right? And I guess house hunting in the California hills and in the Hollywood hills, wherever you're living, is different than house hunting here in Jacksonville. Because the whole premise is that he's going to this house to see if he wants to purchase it. Well, they talked to the realtor, and the realtor said that they custom made the house and like the showing to Jalen Ramsey. So like as Jalen Ramsey was seeing if he's interested in this house, I'm sure he was on Zillow or whatever, like, oh, this house looks interesting. So he goes to the house. The realtor had pictures of Jalen Ramsey and his family like scattered throughout the house. But just wait, there's more. Then they had
that's weird.
Then they had Jalen Ramsey quotes on like these giant paintings in the garage. So like they had his quotes.
He said, "We're gonna win this."
That might have been there. I mean, it was one of like let go and let God or something like that. Whatever, So they had that going for him. And then they had some artists come in and make like a custom $20 bill and put it in a frame because he rocked the $20 bill on his pads. So they had that for him. And then you go outside, and obviously it's overlooking the hills, Brent, beautiful view. And here we have some kind of custom painting of like a tattoo that he just got scattered around the fence. All for a house showing. He hasn't bought the house yet. This is to make him, quote unquote, feel at home.
Do you think like Hard Knocks helped set that up?
I have no idea.
I mean, they must have, right? If they were following.
I'm just saying in
That's
California.
like over the top.
Hey, I'm saying in California, when I was buying my house, so you want this or not?
I'm going to go house hunting in California just to see pictures of myself and maybe quotes.
Well, they did the research. Like, they went on his Instagram. They were saying like they did add stuff from his Instagram.
Wild.
It's crazy, man.
Wild and kind of weird.
Very weird.
Outdoor fireplace?
No outdoor fireplace, but he's talking about putting a pool in if he was going to buy the house. He's talking about putting a pool in.
And we don't know if he bought the house.
No idea if he bought the house or not.
We'll find out maybe later on.
Stay tuned.
When we see him in the house.
Stay tuned. Yeah.
So this is what I just asked. Is he hurting his brand or helping his brand? Because we were talking about it a little bit before, and you kind of were like,
well, listen,
this episode didn't make.
Yeah, I mean,
you didn't think this episode made Jalen more fans. Is that fair to say?
It was the lifestyles of the rich and famous, right? And maybe to some fans, they're into that kind of thing. You know how I operate, man.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Like, it's just not my style. But, like, the one cringeworthy part of it was, there's a realtor there, and she's talking about the house. And Spoiler alert, the realtor, very, very aesthetically pleasing in the Hollywood Hills. Go figure.
Surprising.
Right? So she's selling the house, and she goes, like, a fun fact about this house is that it's made completely of steel. And then Jalen Ramsey turns to her and goes, well, so are my abs. You know?
Does the money side of it, you were just making me think of that. Like, does it make it worse because of, like, the coronavirus and quarantine and people potentially not having jobs because of it? I know it's like, you know, it was like the baseball argument you were saying, and I know this is totally different as a show, but
yeah, I feel like we've had those discussions a little bit over the last 5 months. Like, you gotta be a little careful talking about money, and it's like when Jan was, a lot of people said like the Jan thing, 17, 18, 19 million dollars. Really, people don't even have jobs right now. I don't feel like there's a huge backlash in that. I understand there are people that bring that up. It's a different world. Listen, there are a lot of people not named football players or athletes that are also making a ton of money right now and have actually made more money since the pandemic hit because of things. I mean, that's just the way it is. It doesn't mean it's great for everybody, and everybody acknowledges that. But I think people know. To answer your question, because I don't think so. I don't think that the lavish style of it. I think
people embrace that, actually.
You have to portray L.A. that way, Hollywood a little bit that way. You know, that's what people have in mind. They think that's the way it is there in parts.
It's something from the unusual, right? It's almost like you're watching MTV Cribs during like the housing crash back in the 2000s, right? Like, I mean, like, people got it. You know, like, listen, Jalen Ramsey, he's earned that money. He can spend it however he wants to. I get what Hard Knocks was trying to do. But from my perspective, I wasn't the biggest fan.
Listen, if you wanted to, from Kuz's point of view right there, if you want to not watch that kind of stuff and athletes who make a ton of money still be able to spend a ton of money in this time, well, then go watch the documentaries and everything on athletes that burn all their money. Because there's that out there, too, that you can watch. So
both sides,
to each his own. But it's just interesting, like, you know me, man. I liked Jalen.
Yeah.
I liked having Jalen around here. I know Jacksonville. By the way, the quote was one of the best days of my life was when I got traded from Jacksonville to LA.
Yeah,
that was a dig at Jacksonville. That's been a little bit. Listen, I've said this about Ramsey, just to be clear, that I think he is fun to cover. I think from my job, I think we haven't had guys like that in Jacksonville very often. And so I think that's part of professional sports. So once in a while you have those guys. I think he's a tremendous football player. So those are the reasons why I've said I wish Jalen was still here, you know. But that being said, he can be a giant pain with all that's transpired here in Jacksonville. I don't blame any Jacksonville fan that's glad he's gone and that has their rebuttal to what Jalen said. It was a great day for us, too. But I don't think they genuinely believe it or believed it at the time. The one thing I think I could be really critical of Jalen since he left is it shows his immaturity that he keeps piling on. Yeah. You know, that he keeps needling Jacksonville in that whole situation. It's like, dude, you made $30 million here or $27 million here. This place treated you well. People bought you jerseys. You know, you were a star. You could have been a bigger star here than you are there, believe it or not, even though you're on Hard Knocks right now. All those things, you wanted out. You made that bet. They didn't say, I want you out. You said you wanted out. So don't keep needling Jacksonville about it. Now that you're glad you're gone and all these things. And I think he's done that on a couple of things, whether it's social media, whether it's now this. And it just continues, in my opinion, to show his immaturity. And what I've always said about Jalen, even covering him, is I still don't know if that guy knows who he wants to be, who he is. I think he's caught up in the cameras, the Hard Knocks, all this other stuff with attention rather than really knowing who he is. And maybe he develops into that guy in another 3-4 years and then is comfortable with whoever he is.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you where he's still trying to figure out who he is as a person, okay? And I'll come along with you, man. Whenever you rip on the Jaguars in the city, listen, I understand it didn't go well for you here, okay? But at the end of the day, you won. You got what you wanted. Congratulations. And you're going to make probably a lot of money down the road. Congratulations. You're winning right now. You definitely are. But, like, every time you throw that little, cheap shot to Jacksonville, you're essentially, like, opening up a scab and trying to pour salt in it again. For what reason, And like to me, it comes down to, well, you're trying to play the heel. Like you're trying to play the bad guy right now. There's not a lot of bad guys.
You don't have to try though.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying though. But here's my point though, Brent. You're playing the villain. You're playing the bad guy. And that's cool. You play a position where you can get away with that. You know what? And maybe some endorsement opportunities. Maybe from a branding standpoint, you're getting more love than ever. Maybe you're trending on Twitter nonstop because you're the bad guy. I love it then. Fantastic. Be the bad guy. I embrace that, man. Do you? But what I have a problem with is then you can't be the bad guy 1 second and then quote Bible verses the next second. Okay? Like, you can't have it both ways.
And then say, like, why are you guys asking me all these questions? Why are you guys, it's always like, well, you kind of want us to ask you those questions. Doesn't it feel that way?
Correct. So, to me, you can't have it both ways. No, whatever. I mean, it's worked out for him so far. Look where he's at now. He's being super succtional, driving around cars that I've never seen before. So, who
buying houses with his own pictures in it.
Yeah, exactly. So, who am I to say? Like, once again, the only thing my mother told me, she goes, you want this house or not? You had a pretty good high school football team for your son. Oh, sold. Thanks. Like, that's all she told me. But with that being said, though, I think it's a matter of Jalen Ramsey eventually finding out who he is. He doesn't know quite yet. And eventually, man, and this is just from my perspective and my opinion about it, eventually you will get called out on. If you're not gonna stay in a lane and be the heel, or you're gonna try to be the good guy and go back and forth and switch the lanes, eventually it will come back to bite you. Because with social media or just people out there in the airwaves, they always see through the fakeness. And when they see through the fakeness and when you no longer serve a purpose from a football standpoint, they will call you out.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. I think it's interesting to watch players' maturation in general. Mm-hmm. I think there will be that with Jalen Ramsey. And, the guy we always refer to with Jalen Ramsey is Deion Sanders. Mm-hmm. And even, it took Deion a long time to kind of feel like, I don't know if he ever did. Yeah, he does. Like, Deion's different than he was when he was playing days. So I guess your playing days and your post-playing days are a little bit different. I'm not sure Deion ever did snap out of that stage, though, from a playing standpoint, the brand stuff, everything else.
Yeah.
But he had it more figured out. It was more of a plan. Mm-hmm. It was more executed consistently. I feel like Jalen's his execution of his plan is a little all over the place at times. I guess is the best way I could describe it. Steven's been hanging on the line. Wants to talk Yannick Ngakoue. Will he be traded away in the next day or two? Speaking of guys that have been traded away, we'll see. There are some rumors out there, although, once again, if you're just jumping in on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690, I'll tell you what I know, and that is nothing is imminent when it comes to the Jaguars working a deal for Yannick Ngakoue. But when asked about it, nobody denied it that I talked to. So maybe there is something in the works. Steven, what's happening? Thanks for listening to Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690.
Hey, not too much. How about you guys? Doing good?
Doing well, man.
Doing great, man.
Hey, with this whole trade, if we're unable to get a player, or at least that Austin's looking at, nothing jumping out at him, could you guys entertain maybe a second round and a third round for Jan? Hence, we'd have 6 picks within the first 3 rounds. And we got to take into fact a lot of players are on their contract years. So if we don't sign anybody or a lot of them back, that just puts more salary for us, especially the Nick Foles money getting off the books. We can do better in free agency. And, 6 picks in the first 3 rounds doesn't sound too bad.
Thanks, Steven. Appreciate the call. Listen. My conversation today, and energetic one at that, when talking about just a second-round pick is what Lombardi was hearing, is just a second-round pick is not good enough. If you want to start throwing in other picks, whether it's a player, whether it's another second-round pick, whether it's a third-round pick, I don't know what the deal is. I'll revisit what the deal looks like when it's done, if it's done, and if it's more stuff. What I'm saying is one second-round pick, no way. I'm not doing that, especially at this stage in the middle of August. I'm not doing that. So that's my beef, if that is true. And with all due respect to Lombardi, he kind of was just said, I'm hearing that. He did not say, this is the trade. This is the parameters. So I think a lot could change on that. And my guess is, again, because nothing's imminent, there's still a lot of conversation and negotiation if a deal is in the works. So would you say a second and third? I'd probably be a little bit. That would be more appetizing to me. They're not getting 2 1s. Yeah. Could they still get a 1? Maybe. But that looks less and less likely because he's been on the block for over a year now. Mm-hmm. So second-round pick and something else, and we were saying a defensive tackle seems to make a little more sense if something's going to happen. And I think that's a giant if. I don't want to talk like this thing's a done deal or 95% there. In fact, I don't feel like it's even close to 95% just yet, at least from what I can gain.
So Jets, NFL columnist for the Daily News, Manish Mehta. Yep. Manish Mehta has just said that the Jets, by his understanding, that the Jets are not involved in discussions right now dealing with Jaguars defensive end Yannick Ngakoue.
Listen.
So take it for what you want.
Well, here's the deal, too. Okay, here's the other thing about the Jan stuff. And we've been doing this for a year. There have been a lot of things floated out there in the last year. How much was true? How much was not? Who was interested? Who was not? Mm-hmm. There have been a lot of things to try to get this ball rolling to get Jan out of town. Mm-hmm. So that was a previous camp, agent, player, whoever else. But sometimes you'll do that, I would assume, in that industry, in that business, when you're trying to get a deal done, is like, hey, this could be here. This would look good. Or people misinterpret your conversation, say, Cleveland would be a great spot. And then all of a sudden, bam, hey, Cleveland's good. Yeah, listen, you take it and run. Now, what's interesting here is Jan just hired a new agent in the last couple of days, and now we're hearing rumors, or Mike Lombardi's hearing rumors and reporting something that could be happening. What triggered that is interesting. Relationships with this new agent, more comfortability and a better relationship between Jan and this camp and the Jags. They've settled things and said, okay, this is now that we can talk reasonably and now that we're not at odds with each other and the emotions taken out of it, what do we all want? Maybe that sped things up in the last couple of days. But we don't know. Nothing's done. And again, as far as I know, and I've been telling you all afternoon ever since this came out around 3:20, that everything I can gain is nothing is imminent. Now, that was 2 hours ago. Things change awfully quick in the NFL. We'll keep our eye on it. Is Mike Lombardi now just hearing things? Is he just throwing the Jets out there because it made sense? We don't know. We don't know. He's a guy that's got NFL connections. So I think it's worth the conversation today that we've had. We just don't know where it is until we get a little bit more info or if something happens.
But he also got conned in by a fake account, supposedly, saying the Ravens. So you know what? If that happens, then you have to go on timeout for a day. How does that sound?
He did.
And if you get conned, you go on timeout.
That's what makes you kind of like, okay, how is this really close? Let me ask you this. Jan, by tomorrow when we come on the show.
By tomorrow.
Is something like, are there more reports? Is there more heat to this at the very least? Or is he traded? Or is this still like we're talking about a Mike Lombardi tweet that we've now run with for 2.5 hours on a show and talked all around it?
I know.
And are we doing that again? Okay, when's the next nugget of knowledge dropping on the Jan front? Which way do you think it will be by tomorrow around 3 o'clock?
I think there'll be more to it. But I don't see it happen to like a Friday or a Saturday, kind of like towards the end of the weekend if they do confirm something of a trade.
So that being said, that sounds like then you believe there's a little smoke here.
I'm sure there's a little smoke, you know, for sure. But I think it's going to take some time to get – I mean, if it does go down, it'll take some time to get everything ironed out and everything like that. And by the way, Lombardi, you're going on timeout. Simple as that, man.
Well, they could have been listening to the show. No, I'm mad I got about just a second-round pick, and now they're back at the table.
Well, then you're welcome, Jaguars fans. Go ahead and add us then, yeah. I mean, that could be it, too.
Yeah, that could definitely be it.
They're like, Brent's always had our back. He's always been very supportive, and this one time, he's coming unhinged a little bit. Let's listen to him.
Yeah, might have shot some text a certain way.
Yeah, I like it, man.
The Flaming Hot Cheetos versus Cheetos poll is up.
Yep.
And we've been scolded a little bit because we didn't include jalapeno cheddar.
Oh, I mean, come on. Those are that's a gimme, though. Those are the best.
Yeah, I don't think you're doing too well, though.
Huh?
I don't think you're doing well in
the
poll.
You know why? Because the country is soft. Well, I mean, we've heard it how many times? It's a soft country we live in. What more do you want me to say?
So if I had listed, that's why I didn't want, I almost put puffs on my
poll. Don't put puffs.
But I didn't want to distract from the actual conversation, which was Flaming Hot Cheetos or regular.
Don't put, if you would have put puffs, I would have reported you and got you shut down.
What do you think? Which one does Jalen Ramsey eat? Puffs.
And we're all blocked.
You know what? Yeah, you're going to get blocked again.
We're blocked.
That's the most disrespectful thing you can ever say about somebody. They eat puffed Cheetos, man. So disrespectful, Brent.
A little NBA playoffs, the latest on anything going on with Jan and the Jaguars. That's coming up. One more segment to go here on a Wednesday. Been a fun show. Thanks for hanging with us on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. Different cities are going to have different rules when it comes to crowds for stadiums. For instance, for September, there will be no crowds at Foxborough. And when the Jags face the Titans in Tennessee, the stands will be empty. Despite all of this, NFL insider Adam Schefter says the season will start on time.
There's going to be an NFL season. We'll see how long it lasts. I think they're confident they could pull this entire thing off. The NFL's created its own virtual bubbles within its own cities. They're not official bubbles because players do go and come from home back to the training facility. But there is regimented testing every day. The players' temperature is taken every single time. They get the regular COVID tests. I think right now there are like 19 players total on the reserve COVID list. 19 out of an entire league.
In the NBA last night, the Magic over the Bucks. Heat topped the Pacers. Rockets toppled the Thunder. And the Blazers beat the Lakers. If you're working from home and still want to listen to ESPN, tell your smart speaker, play ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Scattered storms through the Wednesday evening commute, gradually coming to an end tonight. Partly to mostly cloudy on Thursday with more afternoon storms, high 89. And then partly cloudy Friday with midday and afternoon showers and storms, high 88 degrees. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Sima.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where for a limited time, you can get 5 years, 0 interest financing.
Let's take a minute and talk about your health, your good health. We can't take it for granted, and CGC Water would like to help. It's important to have clean, purified water in your home for your good health. CGC offers no contact sales and service appointments, and they've taken all the necessary precautions while in your home. Kinetico systems from CGC Water remove up to 99% of the contaminants. Now that's taking care of your health. This month, get 50% off a K5 reverse osmosis system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier Softener. No more filling the landfills with plastic from expensive bottled water. Instead, fill up on cleaner, safer water from CGC Water. We love it at our house. You can have it at your house. Get the peace of mind knowing your family is drinking great tasting, purified, safe water. Kinetico features Premier Softeners, non-electric, twin tanks that are super efficient and use less salt. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer, servicing North Florida and Southeast Georgia. I call them 3 shirt days. That's when the summer heat in Jacksonville just sizzles. It's relentless, and you want to be prepared for it. Bold City Heating and Air will help you do that. Nothing worse than sweating in your own home and wondering, hey, what happened to the AC? We've been there before. Your air conditioning unit needs to be ready for the heat. It might need to get serviced. The hot weather is here, and Bold City Heating and Air is here for you, just like they have been for my family the last couple of years. Right now, it's $25 off an annual maintenance. Bold City will thoroughly service, clean, and test your system to ensure it is working efficiently. Then you'll be comfortable this summer, all summer. After the $25 off, it's just $70. Book your maintenance service now and save. Save now, beat the heat. Visit boldcityac.com or call 904-379-1648 to schedule. Mirza and his staff are ready to take care of you and your family. Be bold and beat the heat and make it a one-shirt day, even in the summer heat. Go to boldcityac.com.
Mortgage rates are at historic all-time lows. There's no better time. Duval! Purchase your first home or refinance with Crossview Mortgage. At Crossview, they have a proven track record with VA loans and helping people even when the big banks can't. Get pre-qualified. Do your application by phone in minutes. Let them help you save thousands. Call Crossview Mortgage, 325-9008. That's 325-9008. CrossviewMortgage.com. NMLS number 1377291.
There's a new modern patient-centered orthopedic practice in Jacksonville.
We believe that the patient pays money for a doctor and should be seen by a doctor.
Ortho Edge.
They're getting the most technologically available medicine there is.
Ortho Edge.
You're going to get a much better experience with your physician. We all see our patients.
Get the answers right away and more focused care on patients.
Find out more about us at orthoedge.com.
Ortho Edge. We're in the DePaul building attached to St. Vincent's Medical Center, Riverside.
Celebrate your love with end of summer savings now at Beard's Diamonds.
Right now at Beard, take advantage of 5 years, 0 interest financing.
Yes, 5 years, 0 interest financing with 0 down. Take advantage of Beard's already lowest prices in town. But now, spread your payments out over 60 months.
How about a $6,000 Tacori or Veragio ring? You pay just $100 a month.
Or a pair of diamond studs for $1,500? You pay just $25 a month. It's the best deal of the summer. Get her that piece of jewelry she's been dreaming about and spread your payments out over 60 months.
But it's only for a limited time and only at Beard's Diamonds.
Beard's Diamonds, located at the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Come into Beard's Diamonds. See the difference. Save thousands. Security experts recommend that if you have a do-it-yourself alarm, don't use their alarm signs or stickers. Why? Because it tells crooks exactly which system you have, and some signals can be jammed with a common garage door opener. Yes, the equipment is built that cheap. It's not been tested by UL Laboratories, and the DIY company selling it has no license. They use a third party. It just doesn't measure up. That's why thousands of business owners and families trust SafeTouch Security. All SafeTouch systems are custom designed for each installation and installed by state-certified technicians and are covered by a lifetime warranty. The SafeTouch two-way communicator provides the fastest possible response time with an 8-second average. All monitoring is done from the SafeTouch 24-hour monitoring center, giving you peace of mind for you and your family. SafeTouch Security has been protecting you and your family like no one else for 35 years. Go to safetouch.com today for a free home consultation. State license number EF0000233.
Come to the grand opening of Q Delicia, the best Mexican-American sports bar in town. Enjoy ice-cold beer, $10 sangria pitchers, along with the best quesadillas and fajitas in town while watching the game. If you can't go, at least you can watch. But don't be surprised if you hear, goal! You can watch football, NFL, NBA, MLB, boxing, UFC, and more on multiple HD TVs. Visit Q Delicia for the grand opening on 3980 Southside Boulevard today. Q Delicia, the Mexican-American sports bar you never knew you needed. Call 904-253-3477.
The current coronavirus outbreak has caused difficulties for many of our area's small businesses. From losing customers to falling behind in payments, business owners need help. At SCORE, our highly trained counselors are here to help. In Jacksonville, SCORE provides services to almost 6,000 individuals annually. We are currently mentoring virtually and identifying possible financial assistance through the SBA and other resources. Visit jacksonville.score.org for links with more information.
Hi, I'm Nathan from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park. I don't know about you, but I just want to get in the car and drive somewhere. Windows down, radio playing, exploring some 2-lane back roads. It's like a mini vacation. So I say, get in your new Chevy and go. Huh? You don't have a new Chevy? Well, we can fix that, like a new Equinox. Right now, the factory says take 15% off, but we can do up to 5 better. That's right, up to 20% off, or choose a discount and 0% for up to 84 months. Only at Gordon Chevy in Orange Park or GordonChevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
All across the nation, we are here for our communities.
We're doing our part to get supplies where it's needed in order to fight COVID-19 together.
It feels good to be out there to assist our community.
I would like our friends and family to know that your National Guardsmen are always ready and always there.
Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard. Aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jackson, ESPN 690. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jacks on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN 690.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Patrick Mahomes is a bad brother, but I got news for you. Not only is Patrick Mahomes 24 going on 25, do you know how old Tyreek Hill is? He's 25. You know how old Sammy Watkins is? He's 26. You know how old McCole Hardman is? Who can ball, by the way? He's 21. When you've got those kind of weapons as receivers, a veteran at age 30 like Travis Kelce, who at the moment is a top 2 tight end in the game of football, I think number 1. And then you got a guy like Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback with Andy Reid calling plays. I don't think it's too high of an expectation to expect 3 Super Bowl titles.
I already got 1.
Well, I don't think Sammy Watkins is going to be there for a long time, but go on, Stephen A. Go on, do your thing.
Hey, new lineup on ESPN 690 here in town and really ESPN across the country from the national folks. It's been pretty good. I've enjoyed listening to it. Hope you guys have as well. And kind of different sound, a little fresh sound here as we enter football season. We might be getting stale 20 months in.
Nah, man, we're never getting stale. We're always fresh. We're always spicy like those Flamin' Hots.
Actually, I was going to say, to bridge the gap with everything, a little bit stale. Cheetos, the Puffs, isn't too bad.
Not bad. I agree with you.
They're all right, but they have to be a little stale.
I agree with you. It's kind of like I also don't mind cold pizza or cold chicken wings, though.
Yeah, those are actually good, but whatever with the stale cheese puffs.
Clues, real quick update, by the way.
I mean, do you feel masculine saying cheese puffs?
No.
Do you feel masculine saying puffs?
I feel.
No, but you know, like
I feel like Jalen Ramsey commercial with cheese puffs coming on.
You said it, not me.
But like cheese puffs, like if you're out tailgating and they've been out for like an hour or
I
two,
hear you,
they're
man.
better than when you just open.
That's not bad. You're not. I don't think you're wrong there. It's got to be right. It's kind of like an Uncrustable. I mean, there's not much leniency with an Uncrustable. It's
How old are you though, huh? You know, right?
That's how we got on this topic today.
That's true. Okay.
The Uncrustable though is like a window of time where it's acceptable or the best 5 minutes of your life.
Oh,
but then after that or before that, it's not very good. So it's kind of like that with Cheetos, regular ones. That is. We have a poll. We understand that everybody likes the jalapeno cheddar Cheetos as
Game
well,
changers.
but this is not what the conversation is about. Stick to the topic, people. Stay the course. And this is about
where are we at right now with the
flaming hot Cheetos or
the
regular
voting.
Cheetos. And I guarantee if we could somehow break up an age group of people who voted, then it would be 35 and under for flaming hot Cheetos. It would be 36 and older.
Where are we at right now?
61% of the vote says regular Cheetos.
Soft.
You can't deal with this.
It's so because it's country. What's happened in my country, Brent? You know, no, I'm having that conversation. What happened in my country? I thought we used to be hardened. I thought we used to be proud Americans, and people are so soft right now with this non-flaming hot Cheeto pandemic. I hate it. I don't like what our country's becoming. Soft individuals.
Cool. Really quick update. Fill in everybody on what you told us earlier. You have engagement pictures coming up next week. We talked about that earlier in the week, but today a little bit of a twist in the conversation.
Yeah, Nicole went out today with her day off and bought me 2 outfits for it. Like I thought I was just going to throw on a polo and some nice pants or something.
Didn't work.
No,
Didn't pass the test.
What did she buy you? Like what kind of clothes are you talking?
This is where I think Austin's not going to like what she got me. She got me just a gray V-neck and a white V-neck.
Done.
Now, come on.
How old are you?
Hey.
What's wrong with V-necks?
How old are you?
It's football season, and I'm done bouncing at the Cheesecake Factory.
How old are you? How old are you, though?
Got a new job.
How old are you, though? I'm sorry?
I am 29.
I'm sorry. Do you own a house with a backyard fireplace and have 2 twins?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, then you're not established yet. So what you rocking a V-neck for?
Hey, look, that's what she wants.
Oh, man. I mean...
I told her gray's bold, though, because it's going to be hot. And
what do you want, though, huh? Because it's both y'all, right? It just ain't her. What do you want?
I want the photos to go smoothly and quickly.
Okay, then.
I can honestly, listen, by the way, unless I don't know something else that's out there, I only have 1 set of twins, not 2.
My bad. You know what I meant, though. My bad. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Common mistake.
Yeah, happens. Yeah. Set of twins. Yep, gotcha.
But I don't, has Cody ever went out and bought you a couple outfits?
She has.
Really?
I mean, it might have been a hint. Now, do I wear them? Hey, Hey, do you see me pull up to work sometimes?
Yeah.
No, I mean,
I saw you get away from the camera so she doesn't see.
No, she's listen. She brought me the Casey Musgrave shirt. I rock that on occasion.
Good point.
She's brought me a couple like dress shirts. I don't wear dress shirts though. Like if it's date night, then maybe I'll wear it. But on an everyday basis, no. You know how I operate, man. Just black, just black and gray and very plain colors.
It doesn't get hot though. With
I sweat, man. And black's classic. It's just how I get down. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's why I'm a little worried about the gray shirt. I told her we probably should do the gray shirt with photos first.
Do it first. I like that.
I'll sweat through that pretty quick.
I like it.
What's going on in the NBA playoffs?
The Nuggets, I believe, are beating the Jazz. It just went
Did
to
Toronto
commercial.
win? Or the Nets?
Toronto.
They did?
Oh, yeah.
Because they were down.
They won by a good bit.
Oh, okay.
Does Rudy Gobert have under 11.5 rebounds? Being serious.
I'm not sure right off the top of my head. I haven't looked, but I do know that he took a good elbow to the face in the beginning of the game from Jokic.
Okay, good. So he might be hurt. All right, good. Not saying I'm just things floating out there. No, I'm not a degenerate. I don't have a problem. We're good.
You got another 8. You got another 12-team parlay.
No, man. No, I'm just doing single. I'm just doing single bets. I'm just doing prop bets.
That's the greatest. You had like this parlay going where you had everything won. All you needed was the Bucks and the Lakers to win.
You had to bring it up, didn't you?
Bucks and Lakers to win. They both lost.
Dude, so get this. So
it doesn't matter. One of them lost, but
yeah. I mean, I had like these crazy bets, and then it was Sixers Celtics game. I had the under, and who bets the under? A very sick, deranged person like myself. Bet the under, it capped. So literally, I went to bed that night thinking all I need for a 16 parlay that I put about $3 down where I could get obviously a lot more back. All I needed was the Bucks and the Lakers to win. And you would think, Brent, that I slept like a baby, which I did. And I woke up the next morning thinking, I'm going to get a couple $100 now because you know why? I just made the easiest bet of all time. Well, Milwaukee let me down, and thank God they did, because if they would have won that game, then watching that Lakers game last night, I would have threw a fit, would have threw a tantrum.
I'm just laughing at a couple of tweets and texts that I won't share right now. I have to consume them first. But
am I in trouble?
No, probably not.
Okay, good.
So the Jaguars today released a slogan called "Duval Together." New video out.
Duval
you kind of
together.
readjusted the video today. I throw a little Tim McGraw in there.
Yeah,
Very good.
Yeah.
Duval Together. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Like that's a good play off the Duval, right?
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
Video was very
intense.
I get it. Yeah, it's times change. It's tough. I don't know.
I will say this about the Jags. I thought of this. You know, since in the Black Lives Matter movement and the protests here in Jacksonville, and they were the first team to kind of do that march, right, from the stadium to City Hall and or to JSO. And I'm not saying nothing's been done since then. We've just been very quiet on that front. I think there's been a lot of things behind closed doors. I think there's still a lot of conversation. I think there was another, well, obviously Leonard Fournette held a protest as well. But it does feel, the idea when we talked about that back a few months back was, okay, how are you going to keep this relevant still? How are you going to keep the conversations going? And this kind of said that to me. Did it to you?
No, absolutely. I mean, obviously, like, you know, there was a lot of races represented in that video. I thought it was great. I mean, it was essentially showcasing just how diverse of a place and how much of a melting pot of a place Jacksonville is. And that's really one of the reasons why I took to the city of Jacksonville. It's because it is so diverse. You can go to different areas of the city and to the beach and see different types of people, see all walks of life. And I enjoy that, man. That, to me, that's what the country's all about. So I agree with you there. I mean, I think, listen, the message obviously was to showcase that this city is diverse and we take pride in that. And that's what I got from that video.
Yeah, me too. Of course, you had to spin it around a little bit and put a little Tim McGraw in there.
I mean, you know how I get down, bro. I can't take anything seriously ever. So, yeah, I had to put my own little twist on my little tweet out there. Check it out if you want to. If not, it's all good. I'm not going to lose sleep about it. But with that being said, though, I just thought, like, dang, are we talking about football or are we talking about just life? And you know what? I guess this is the year, Brent, where, and let's be honest here, professional sports, they are transcending everyday life. Right? Like, there are similarities right now. There are, you know, it is kind of gelling together. So with that being said, I could get what Jacksonville's trying to do here.
Yeah, me too. So check it out. The team tweeted the video today, probably on Jaguars.com as well. A couple programming notes, too. First and 10 training camp tonight, once again, 11:15 on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Every night of training camp, 15 minutes at 11:15. We do that show. I got to share an email with you guys about that, too. And tomorrow we have Jaguars All Access, 7 o'clock. Now, it used to be at Mellow Mushroom, usually at Mellow Mushroom. Obviously, with everything going on, we're not doing it at the restaurant this year. We'll have it at the stadium, 7 o'clock. Though that show starts tomorrow night from the stadium, Jeff Lageman and myself.
Brent, can I have a word with you real quick?
What did I do?
Your neighbor...
I would like to ring the bell for the neighbor.
Your neighbor
Jenny
had some not nice words to say about me.
I know. Read it, please.
You can read it.
No, because I got to read something else.
All right, if Austin, it must have been Austin, Texas, because he spelled my name wrong, Austin, off to a bad start, Janae. So if Austin, little Janae, Forrest Gump, there we go. So she said if Austin had a V-neck tee, he'd have a little more ventilation and wouldn't sweat as much. Also, maybe if he's stuck with a good classic crunchy Cheetos rather than the spicy stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I think about that.
Now it's dented.
That's what I think about that.
The bell.
There went the bell.
Okay, so anyway, we do First and 10 training camp on CBS 47 and Fox 30. We get this email today, okay?
Yeah, it's good. Hit me with it.
This is what we get in TV land.
I can't wait.
The title is Stop Abusing Your Airtime.
Off to a good start.
For the last 2 nights now, you've allowed your sports segment at the 11 o'clock news to overrun into the rare live late show. I'm assuming that's Colbert.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because that's what's on CBS after.
Okay.
I think.
Sure.
Yeah. There was no, in capital letters, need for your ego-starved sports reporter to drag out his sports report into 11:45. I hope you don't do it again tonight! ! You can easily cut the sports report short and stop, in capital letters, feeding your own egos. So I had to actually check with our people today because I'm like, well, wait a minute. We stopped the show at 11:32. That's when we always do it.
Okay.
Like we stopped the show and we always stop the show.
Yeah.
But I think everything got slid because of the convention on Monday night. And also because maybe some of the primary coverage or election coverage that the national folks were doing yesterday.
Yeah.
And so the sports guys got hammered for it from this fine person.
Well, obviously you're taking the brunt of somebody else's mistake. It's what we do in sports,
It's
isn't
not even
it?
a mistake.
Well, of a miscommunication, let's call it. Real question, though.
Guy obviously wants more politics, so he should have watched earlier in the night.
Well, isn't there more? I mean, there's more of that
Stick to
tonight,
politics,
though, right?
buddy.
So there's more of that tonight, right? So you can expect another email if you guys run. Oh, I hope so. But and by the way, to close it out, say, hey, we see you, so and so, whoever sent that email. And by the way, hey, whatever.
Yeah. A little wave.
Yeah, a little wave there.
Yeah, I don't want to bring up his name.
Yeah.
Probably nice guy.
Yeah, he's one of those guys I'd say K to. K, lowercase K.
I should just respond K.
K, do it. Do it, please.
Hey, we'll keep you updated on the Yon front. We'll have it on First and 10 training camp tonight, 11:15 on CBS 47, Fox 30. Once again, the rumors are out there. Michael Lombardi reporting a deal could be close, but he's been doing that for the last couple of hours. Nothing has happened since. I've been told nothing is imminent, but we'll keep our eye on the Yon front. Meanwhile, Live Local Loud coming up next with Nicky Football and Jerry Daniels. Hope you enjoy it. We'll see you on TV, CBS 47 and Fox 30. Thanks for hanging with us on ESPN 690. Hey everyone, this is Brett Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Hope you catch the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 10 different